for my birthday in July, I'm planning on upgrading. I got the VR, the Quest, like
Nice. What
3 months ago. I built my new PC like a month ago, so now I'm looking to buy like a Logitech G920 or whatever the fuck it is.
That's what I've got. G920. Exactly what I've got. This is what this is. Honestly, if you can afford to, I would honestly recommend a Thrustmaster RS 300. I think it's called, because it's belt driven and not cog driven. And belt driven, the cogs won't work well with a Seto. They'll break. If you want to use a Seto, because it's more realistic, it's like super realistic in a Seto Corsa. So it just, the Logitech wheel can't handle it because it's plastic teeth.
I'll look into it. How much more is it?
It's like maybe a couple of $100 more. I think it's like, I think my buddy Shelf picked his up for $300, and that was with the shifter, like second hand.
Interesting.
It's worth a look. I bought mine second hand, my Logitech, and as long as you see it working, bro, like you see it do a full rotation left, full rotation right, it means it's working. The pedals work.
Is the e-brake its own thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
you can get one on Amazon for like 120 Canadian, or you can get it off of like fucking wish.com or whatever that's called for like $90, but then you got to pay $30 shipping. So
what, for an e-brake?
Wait, what?
You say for an e-brake?
Yeah, for an e-brake. Yeah, I haven't like looked too much into them, but
that's what
I'll definitely be buying one just because I want to do drifting with it. So and a Seto, you know, why not?
I'm trying to get everything set up.
I need to introduce you to my buddy, Better Shelf, bro. This guy can drift so well in a Seto, bro. Like, competitive level is insane.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello. Have we all fought our technical difficulty bosses, or are we still working through anything?
Are we forced to use push to talk?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, in this channel, I put push to talk on.
Yeah, it's just stoner brain. I might forget, so if you see me talking and you don't hear me, just tell me to push the button.
Copy that. So we have everybody. Looks like everybody's in. If anybody needs, if you guys are intentionally not using cameras, that's perfectly fine. It's not a requirement whatsoever. Just so I don't look weird and duplicate myself on my screen, I won't be turning it on in the Discord just because I already have it in my overlay. Blah blah.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm watching the stream anyway.
Oh, sweet. I have so many fucking windows up today, and my brain is on full tilt ADHD right now. But NorCal, Maverick, and NRC, if you guys need help getting your cameras on, just holler. We can walk you through it. It's just a quick little toggle. If you don't have the option of having a camera on, not a requirement at all. It's okay.
Oh, so I only got the one camera. Yeah, I just got the one camera, and I'm streaming this. So
perfect. Nope, that's perfect.
If you only have one camera, what I did, I mean, I have two, but I am only using one, and I'm just screen share. I'm like taking my screen cap. So I'm using my camera through Discord, and I'm just capping like the whole convo. So you could do it that way too. Yeah, I've seen people. I've seen people.
It was actual camera too.
It wasn't letting me turn on my second camera, so I'm just kind of like hovering my actual stream camera over the other one.
That's kosher. For me, when I mouse down to the bottom of this window, this group window, there's an option for changing the camera capture because mine defaulted to my hand camera, and I had to change it to my face cam. But I don't know.
Mine keeps defaulting to my capture card.
You're on my wheel camera right here, but it looks like my camera's frozen. But that's probably because I've not moved in a minute.
Aha.
Yeah, it's because I'm like behind in the stream.
Chat, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it lets me preview it perfectly.
How's
fine,
all
but
the
as soon as
audio?
I go to turn it on, it doesn't do anything.
That is strange.
Do you have the source active in your OBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to disable that source for it to be able to work elsewhere. So if you've got a box set up for your second camera on your OBS,
Sicky.
you need to turn the second camera off in your OBS for it to recognize in Discord.
Well, we pretty much should be good to go. I made myself.
How you doing tonight? How's
coffee,
your
which I'll probably
week
regret
been
later.
so
And then
far?
I've got.
Hey, you got the better camera on now.
Yeah.
I was using my secondary camera. I don't know why I didn't just screen cap. You're smart. I'm not. Weed.
And I have a garlic breath pre-roll that I'm going to be sparking up here in a moment too.
I'm gonna take bong rip.
Yeah, boy.
Nice. I've been over my selection, but I'm quite happy to go over it again if you'd like.
You guys are lucky that you're able to smoke weed right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Why can't you smoke weed? What?
So actually, before we begin in the podcast, I am a member of the Air Force. So any opinions that I share is strictly my opinion. Does not is not the opinions of the Air Force or the DoD in general. It is strictly my opinion, and because it is not federally legalized, I cannot smoke weed, and therefore, members in the military can't smoke weed. So,
Not yet. We'll check. that
not
next
yet.
week.
We'll check next week, hopefully.
That's great, and that actually will kind
Right,
of come into that. Will, oh, that's right. Fucking runts. Told you they look like fucking box of nerds.
I thought that was
I can't smoke legally because I live in the southern parts of the states where the lovely people that run it say that's the devil's lettuce.
That's right. That's right. It's delicious.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Delicious, delicious devil's lettuce.
So we already a document went out to everybody that's attending today. I tried to give like about a day and a half, so people had time to kind of chew on some of these topics if they really wanted to put some thought and stuff into it. I don't think maybe the wording has changed a little bit on that, but for the most part it stayed the same. And as far as just it's just basic shit here. Like I think we'll probably do our best to try to avoid first date stuff. So if things start veering off into religion stuffies or politics stuffies, it just we'll probably just put a pin in it and move on. But other than that, I mean, it's just feel free to speak your mind. Voodoo does great disclosure. I think probably applies pretty much for all of us. It's just all individual opinions here at this point. We're not representing anything other than just ourselves, and I think that was very well said.
Yeah, I agree.
If anybody has any other questions, otherwise we'll kick the shit off.
Do you mind if I hop in with my second? Shit. Do you mind if I hop in with my second account so I can walk outside and take a toke and all?
Oh, I think that's a great idea. Go nuts, man.
Aha! I found a second camera.
Hey, we did it, boys.
Hey. I also forgot that it's push to talk, so I just muted my mic to cough like an absolute idiot.
Better be safe
it's gonna
and
be
sound.
a night. It's gonna be a night, boys. It's gonna be a night.
It's gonna be a night.
So we'll kick this off. I tried to do my best as far as staggering the topics between things that might be a little bit more meatier and some stuff that might be a little bit more easier for the brain. And then we've got the crescendo at the end here, but no specific order. You guys want to abstain from given question, or you just don't feel like want to add anything necessarily? That's 1,000% okay. It's complete open forum. But this is actually the very first one. It's one of my ones that I'm looking most forward to. Actually, is what do we anticipate being some of the most anticipated, or what do you think the most anticipated game or game releases will be for 2023, and that can include things that have already been released, or stuff that's up and coming and down the pipeline.
Dead Island 2 that comes out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I agree.
Yep.
I don't.
I'm definitely excited for Final Fantasy 16.
The same with that though. I think that's overexhausted. I think Dead Island's first game was too terrible for me to enjoy.
You didn't get into it.
Nah, not at all. And I love zombie shooters.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you're a COD mastermind, my friend.
And yeah, that's a very good shout. GTA 6, if we actually do get it, that's what I'm looking forward to.
For me, it's definitely Starfield. I have been waiting on that game since they announced it. I'm stoked for the fact that it is a new property from Bethesda in 20 plus years, and I'm just hoping they do it right.
Yep.
Oh, and then there's meant to be Motorsport 8 coming out as well at some point. I don't know when, but
That's for this year, though, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but I'm looking forward to it because it could bring a whole new meaning to the sim drifting world.
Yeah, Pure, you might be muted too, by the way, Bo.
Yeah, so it's not letting me turn on my camera at all.
The fuck?
Yeah, I traded it off to like.
Aha! I was muted. Thank you. I was saying GTA 6, and was that other one after us? If it actually is as good as they say it's gonna be.
What's after us? I've never heard that one.
It's like a survival. Here, I mean, can I share links again? Right here, I'll share a link to it.
Yeah. And Mav, that Star game was it's for this fall, I think, is released, right?
Yeah, they moved it back to, it should be September 9th now. They've pushed it back several times. But it looks amazing. And even though it's just single player, I mean, it's okay. Every now and then, we have to play with ourselves.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Oh, yeah, there's that. It just reminded me of another game, Drug Dealer Simulator 2, or it's called Drug Lord Simulator. But this time it's multiplayer. So you can run around being drug dealers with your friends.
Isn't that GTA?
Pretty much. But this is a different storyline.
You can go a little more Breaking Bad with it.
Yeah. You can mix the chemicals to make different drugs and shit. So
Weed Shop 3 is on sale right now on Steam, by the way.
I have it.
I know you do.
See, I'm an FPS nerd, so I don't know if you guys have tried X Defiant.
I've seen you playing it.
It's they've been improving it. There's some bugs, but it feels like a faster kind of COD game, but like with Apex like elements and stuff. It's cool, but for me, that one kind of has caught my interest. But also, with all the problems, I play Tarkov like crazy. They said they're gonna, like, with all the network improvements and stuff that they're implementing, all that kind of stuff. I think that's like really anticipated as far as that community goes, because that's gonna like really make or break Tarkov. Like if they can pull this off and get 5 to 10 times performance you get currently, now people with like fucking 1080 Ti's are gonna actually be able to play the fucking game. Because right now you can't. 40 frames and it's fucked.
It caps at 40?
No, it's just like the game's so heavy. Like I have a freaking 3080 with a 450 watt BIOS and a 5950X, all liquid cooled, and I get like 80 frames. You got to be shitting me! Like, come on! It's just not optimized.
How much power are you supplying to that?
I got 1,000 watt. Platinum.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna need some big boy to power that big boy rig.
And I got 4 monitors. She
fucking Jesus. Dream setup.
It's been I mean it's just been collected over time, just piece by piece, and I get really good deals. I mean I got really good deals on all of this stuff, so I didn't pay full price, but COVID helped because I was like, well, I need something to do, and I said let's build. I built one in my first computer in like 2013. It's now my mom's PC, still runs like a top. So I gave her that, and I said, let me build my own, and this is like V2 of this build because my liquid cooler leaked and all kinds of shit happened. But
done.
Oh, that's right. I remember that happened.
Here, hold on, let me.
I'll say another one is my chat saying that the new Assassin's Creed Mirage or whatever that's coming out.
Oh yeah,
it's a great series.
I mean, it's a great series, but how many more can you make?
I did hear that they're.
I do have to agree with that. They keep going on with it, but it is a great series.
It's a great game, great series, but like, I think enough's enough now. I think you either need to develop a new concept or come out with something different, because just reliving different events in history, as fun as it is, it's just repetitive.
I do like how they're going back to sort of the original concept of Assassin's Creed, where they're kind of straying away from the RPG style and they're going more towards like the Assassin's Creed 2 style, where it's just a campaign and not a lot of like RPG elements to it. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm excited that they're going back to the core mechanics of the game. While I didn't dislike the RPG stuff, it just got a little sluggy.
Yeah, I think my favorite Assassin's Creed has to be Black Flag,
Yep.
where you can be a pirate. Well, that might be because of my heritage, but I don't know.
Cody, you're muted again. You stoned fuck.
Yeah, Black Flag is definitely my favorite. Followed as, RPG wise, Valhalla. So much so that I'm kind of almost looking forward to Skull and Bones if they ever get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's been years in production at this point, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they just had a pre-alpha that didn't do too well for closed.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I'm like very skeptical about that game, but hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I like
And
pirate
it's been
ship.
a push to talk. Sorry.
Well, I know Ubisoft said that what they've learned from the alphas and the betas, they're pretty much going back and they're going to keep a lot of the stuff to it, but the game's going to be completely 180 from what they originally decided.
Wow. So yeah, good titles for this year though. That's a lot of them. And then one that I've underserved and need to get back to is I really appreciate Sons of the Forest. It was like a pretty decent game, but I've only gotten a couple sessions into it. I've got a lot to uncover. And I know they're still adding shit on too.
Start the Forest yet? That's
I
how
mean,
soon though. It's
I
coming up. We're almost done with
started
Grounded.
Forest, and then some weird BS happened, and I was like, yeah, fuck this game.
Yeah, that was It desynced or whatever, and there's like a workaround for it by like manually editing your config files, and it's a process. But
yeah, I probably don't have them configs anymore because obviously PC took a shit, didn't it?
Yeah,
and I had to format everything.
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll do a speed run one night for funsies.
Yeah, I like that they are constantly updating the Sons of the Forest, and it's a good game. I like it a lot better than the first one.
Agreed. I agree.
I quite enjoyed Harry Potter,
Yeah, I did too. I had so much fun with that game.
Some people don't get on with the J.K. Rowling shit and stuff, and I understand that. But like, that's a whole nother subject that we won't get into right now.
Right.
That's a game that I want to play, but I just gotta wait until I can get it.
It's a really good game. It's really enjoyable.
Yep.
It's nothing to do with anything to do with Harry or anything like that. It's set 100 years before.
Oh yeah, I'll say I've been watching a lot of people play it. I think
it's just one of those you can just lose your mind in for a few hours.
It's very immersive too.
AAA.
Yeah, I've been borderline on that one, only because I'm not familiar with the lore of any of the books or anything. But I've had people tell me you don't need to be you can just jump in and right there.
Yeah, I probably watched one film, or maybe two of the films. I never read any of the books. Not into Harry Potter at all. Not my scene at all. But I really enjoy it in the game. Like, I haven't played it in a while because I'm kind of addicted to the sim rig and shit. But yeah, it's really enjoyable.
Nice. I'm reading Titanfall 3 too. Is anybody familiar with that one?
Yes, and did they even confirm for Titanfall 3?
I don't know. There's just somebody suggested it.
The last I heard, there was no confirmation on it.
Yeah, do you think that it's gonna beat Titanfall 2 though? That's a big game to top. A very big game to top.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, they weren't going to do anything like that because they've been just living on Apex for so long.
But that's why I have such a beef with Apex.
Yeah, I mean, I was an avid Apex player for many seasons. And then, well, I just got on like a month ago, and my account is level 1. My heirlooms are gone. My skins are gone. My Voidwalker Wraith skin's gone.
What the fuck?
And yeah, my account, my level 500 account, like multiple diamond seasons, is now gone.
Okay, so as of right now, according to their website, Titanfall 3 was pushed back from December 31st, 2022 to August 7th, 2023.
Oh, that's not far away. Okay.
So hopefully we could see like some sort of announcement trailer
Yeah, it should be coming up.
It will be on Microsoft Windows, the Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox X and Series S.
Probably be announced at E3, right?
I think E3 was canceled.
I thought it was pushed back.
It could have. I think it was because a lot of like the companies are like doing their own conferences that they're not going to E3.
Yeah, there's actually not going to be an E3 this year at all. They said.
Oh,
Because
really?
of that, a lot of the companies are doing their own conferences, and
Dang,
they
that
just couldn't get
sucks.
the backing for it.
One of my viewers just said that they're closing the Apex mobile game.
Yeah, they're shutting that down.
That sucks.
And E3 has been canceled.
Okay.
Sorry, I was roaching that thing out.
Which saddens me because now I will never get the chance to go to E3.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that I wanted to do was go to E3.
They fully cancelled it, never to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I thought maybe
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Cancelled or maybe pushed back. Was the last I heard about it, but I didn't think it was cancelled forever.
No, I don't. Yeah, at least for this year anyway. That's all I had heard as well.
I know it was because of COVID, and then I think last year was because they just didn't have like enough participants, and I think it was the case for this year as well.
All right on.
Yeah, I think the article I read that's what they said. That were just the companies and the developers. They're held in their own showcases, so they pretty much told E3, "Why do we need to be at your place when we're already doing it at our place?"
Yep.
It's free advert,
Pretty
free
much.
advertisement.
That's good. Well, we got that's a shit ton of titles for this year, and especially since I don't know, like I'm kind of an early access indie slut. I think more often than not, but it's nice to see some probably anticipated being very well made or arguably polished products coming out in the near future. So that's kind of nice for a change because we've been, I think as gamers as a whole, I think we've kind of been kicked in the dick for the last couple of years with a lot of games that are coming out.
Yeah.
At least the condition they come out in anyway. Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I was gonna say prime example would be Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
That's what everyone was thinking, huh?
Forza Horizon 5 was just as bad as Cyberpunk.
But it's
man, I
good
mean,
now.
every game COD.
No,
even.
it's still got bugs.
Oh,
It's still got stupid bugs, bro. You tell me how a car can go into launch control in reverse.
I mean, shit, you can still launch cars in a swing set in GTA.
Yeah.
Game's been out for like 36 years.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah.
Come out when I was a small lad.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but GTA ain't never gonna fix that because that's the stupid stuff you're
5M.
supposed to do.
True, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but it's 5M where GTA makes all its money and people make all their money is in 5M. It's not actually even on GTA. They just use the exe folder from GTA and run RP servers. Look at NoPixel. He made millions just from making an RP server for the top.
I'm literally sitting in my RP server right now.
That's awesome.
Just fucking standing there on a dock while I'm talking to you guys.
Everyone's just like, this guy's just talking to himself for no reason.
No, I got all you guys, all your beautiful faces up on the stream.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It would be funny if your mic was still on in the game,
Yeah, just leave it open.
just having full-blown conversations with yourself.
I mean, I've seen people play characters like there's a guy who plays Homeless Henry. He plays like a homeless guy. He sits on a bench outside a burger shop, and people give him joints, money, food, and he just sits there and just pretends to be homeless, shouts at traffic. He gets like
For
100
real, I'm
people
trying to
watching.
get that script.
There was actually a guy in San Francisco who did this for about 5 years before he was prosecuted for it.
Oh shit. Now was he like an actual homeless?
Yeah, so
displaced?
pretty much what his story was is he was working for a law firm and discovered that he could make more money panhandling than he would actually working. So he just would leave his house, get super dirty, dress in raggedy clothes, and just go sit on a corner and get money from people.
See, that was a thing out here in East Coast too, in New York. and these people would have $2,000, $3,000 studio apartments because that's fucking Manhattan, and that's exactly what they would do. Same thing, just mud up and head out for the day, and then they were able to sustain themselves with that. It's gross.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
People
chilled
do
with
it
a
here.
homeless guy in Key West, and he told me, he said, "Man, I could go to work, but I make a couple grand a day just sitting here begging." And I'm like, dude, begging in the Florida sun of Key West? Why didn't that wasn't on the career path when they gave me in college?
Oh man, Key West is beautiful too.
Should have done that instead of turning wrenches.
Yeah, right. All right. I'd say we'll move on to the next part, which I'm also looking forward to. Might be a little more streamlined. We'll see. So we are, and this is open to dealer's choice. This is we're talking favorite herbs to consume. So naturally, like that could very well be smoking if that's your thing, and or combined with things that you can eat. And I'm gonna be weird and say for myself sage, because you can do both these things. You can cook with it. You can smoke it.
Do you mind if I go second?
Go nuts, dude.
I'd go with. I've been smoking Cushman's a lot lately. I freaking love it.
Nice.
Northern Lights for me.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a top 5. Probably.
I gotta
That's
say
a classic.
I gotta say, Blue Dream is always a good favorite of mine.
My
Oh, it's so
all-time
top 5.
favorite
That's a
is
good one, yeah.
Amnesia Haze.
I don't know how to have
Nice.
that one yet.
So good. It's more of like a body high than a head high. It just relaxes your whole body.
Fair.
But then again, I've got some purple OG Kush as well, and that thing's just out of this world. That's that purple stuff I was showing you, if you remember.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I did. I grew. Well, we had a tough grow season last year. We grew like 35 different flora, and it just the yield on everything was meh. The herb plant that I grew though, there was only one. I only had one little weed baby, and
Just
it
the
was
purple.
so fucking windy. Yeah, that looks nice, man. It was so windy at the last place that we were out that all the plants were stressed. Like half the tomato plants didn't fucking produce shit. But the weed plant actually I gave probably the most attention to anyway. But weed plant actually yielded pretty decent, and it was ice cream cake.
Alien ice cream on it?
Ice cream cake, I think it was called. But I don't know. It was pretty good. As far as eating herbs are concerned, too, one of the easiest things to grow, and it's and I have like serious issues with antacid stuff. Basil is fucking bomb diggity for. I mean, it's just tasty
basil.
anyway, but
I would
Yeah,
have to
basil,
agree with
yes.
that. Definitely agree.
I tend to use thyme in a lot of the shit I cook, though. 100%.
Sounds good too.
I was going to say rosemary, especially if you're making a good steak. Rosemary and garlic, man, great.
I
Actually,
underserve rosemary.
Rosemary and thyme together make a very good complement to a steak with garlic.
Putting basil on
yeah.
pizza is like
But if we're going to start talking about
Yes,
food,
yes.
we're going to be here for hours because I was a chef for 14 years, so...
I was a line cook for 5.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I think everybody in this channel is a foodie in some regards. That's no small coincidence.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I got Bag of Munch next to me.
Where are the JV Dodgers at? Don't you lie to me. I know you
I
got
don't have. I generally
You
don't have
fucking
Jammy
liar.
Dodgers. I don't have any.
Fair enough. All right, I got this one. This one. Try not to keep it too spicy. Twitch versus YouTube versus Kick. The new kid on the block. What do we see as pros and cons to each? And they've all got them.
So
what do we have for predictions?
So I initially started streaming on Twitch, and then I decided to switch to YouTube, purely for the convenience. I get to have all my stuff on one platform, and starting off on YouTube, just right off the bat, you can have all your live streams just on your platform. You don't have to be like a Twitch affiliate for your live streams to be saved. So that's what I liked about it. I think the one thing that's hard about YouTube, especially with live streaming, is just like the discoverability. You can't. I think it's like impossible to be discovered on YouTube with live streams. So you got to be like creating a lot of content to be discovered. But that's also a pro, is that when you start creating content and you post something overnight, like a video, you could just blow up and get like 5,000 views, and you go live, and all of a sudden you've got like hundreds of people watching your live stream. So I think that's why I switched to YouTube. So
That's awesome.
See, I feel like YouTube, like in terms of growth, is more important to use the shorts feature than actually just directly streaming.
Right.
But I could be biased on that as well. But with the whole integration of Kick as is right now, it's too early to say whether or not it's sustainable. And for the people that are just full on jumping ship to it because of the 90-10 split that Trainwrecks is offering, like, yes, it is, more beneficial in
I am too.
terms of direct money in your pocket. but
Premium,
you also gotta look
Premier,
at
that's
the,
like you can
moral
set up
side
a
of it.
Valorant
You have
squad,
Kick,
right?
which is offering explicit like content, gambling, etc., which it's kind of dealer's choice. But then you also have Facebook, which wasn't mentioned, which for a new streamer who's starting off is awful, because that's where I started. There's 0 terms of growth for new streamers. Now, if you're switching over from YouTube to Facebook, as in terms of like Stone Mountain, and them, it worked for them. For long-term growth as a like already established partner, Facebook's the way to go. Twitch is digging themselves in a hole. 100% how they're treating their content creators, how they're treating, like, look at the Kai Cenat controversy that's happening right now.
Yeah.
They're number one
in the
growth
world.
earning in the world. They just banned for whatever reason that they haven't disclosed yet.
I was about to
So-
ask. They haven't disclosed it. That's crazy. Like,
So there's pros and cons to every platform. I feel like it's just dealer's choice at this point. Like, Kick's too early to, term. Twitch is already digging themselves in the hole. YouTube is YouTube, and Facebook
Trovo
is
as
Facebook.
well.
Provo is already forgotten though. That look at where they could be the new Kick, right? Kick could follow the exact same footsteps as Trovo.
That's what I honestly think is going to happen with Kick. Everybody's rushing to it right now because of the split, and I understand it, right? But like with Twitch, it's actually better to be an affiliate than a partner right now, which I find mad. Because we get, like, with ad revenue, if you run a certain amount of ads, they give you 55% split on the ad revenue. Like, they don't give that to partners. They still give them the 30-70 split like they've always had, right? So it's actually beneficial for us right now to stay as an affiliate, because you're going to potentially earn more just from ads on your channel. The whole thing's nuts.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
carry on,
agree with. Go ahead.
No, you're right, Karen.
I was going to chime in with NorCal there. I agree with him. I have dabbled in Kick. About one day a week, I do a stream over there, and it's just, you don't have any of the integration that you have with Twitch. It's really beta. It's really basic. Very bare bone at the moment, and they're working on getting it better, but there again, I don't think. And yeah, Twitch seems like they sit in a room and go, what is the most stupidest thing we can do? Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, I honestly...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't see Twitch being sustainable at all anymore either. I just think that the way whatever path they're on right now is wrong. And I think the only sustainable option is YouTube. So I'm even debating the Switch, but the only reason I'm not is because the little extra $50 in my pocket every month is helping me out.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I appreciate that.
The one thing I will say
that's-
about YouTube
sorry,
is that it's a little bit harder to monetize on YouTube with live streams, because you have to get like 1,000 subs on your YouTube and a certain amount of hours before you can even like
4,000 hours before
yeah,
you get
it's
Oh.
crazy.
And I'd because I've had my YouTube for a while, but I definitely don't nurture it nearly as often as I would like to anyway. But the
same.
only they're solid. Like they're solid. Their terms are solid. The for somebody like me, who swears like a pirate, and that's on and off camera. That's just around the clock. If I'm awake, I'm swearing.
Same. Yeah.
Same.
And that whole recent change where it doesn't even matter if you're labeled for adult content, which I am. It doesn't even matter if your individual videos are labeled for adult content, which they are. If you have within the first however many minutes, I don't know it offhand, but first
It's
few
one.
minutes there, 1 minute. If you have any swears or anything like that, you demonetize your entire channel. So it's like I can't. I don't
Yeah.
have that time. I don't have that kind of predictable restraint. It would just take one time, you know, and
Yeah,
it would
Note
be
to
very
self,
quick for me.
YouTube is out.
So,
Yeah.
on my mixer, on my GoLexar mixer, I actually have a button that's a beep button. So if I really wanted to, before I swore, I could just press the button and it would beep.
There we go. That's one way.
Yeah, so personally, I started on YouTube and I had like, I don't know, 350 subs, and like I was getting a lot of traction, but there's always problems with like music, like copyright stuff, where it's supposed to be non-copyrighted, but for some reason they flag it, and then your whole video is gone. You spent so many hours on it, you got to redo it and re-upload it. You lost views on it now. I dealt with that shit for like 4 or 5 years before I finally said fuck YouTube and like pretty much made the switch to Twitch.
Switch to
With
Twitch.
Kick, I feel like if it stands the test of time, if it's here in a year, maybe I might start doing a little something on there. But at the time, there's been so many companies that have tried this, and like Mixer's the biggest one that comes to my head. And like it was backed by Microsoft. It had a ton of money. Like there shouldn't have been like it should have made it, but it still struggled and then failed in the end as well, right? So
Right.
I've seen too many companies fail now, and I really hated when I was under the YouTube banner. So I don't think I could go back to YouTube fully. I mean, I could still put up videos, but not streaming. I don't think personally.
Well, being that Twitch is owned by Amazon, I don't think Jeff Bezos would really let it fail, being how much growth income they pull in.
I mean, I'm not worried about Twitch failing at all. That's the thing, right? Like that's why it's got some sturdy legs, and it has majority of the viewership. Man, go onto YouTube and try to find someone's live stream. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like so, discoverability on YouTube is based on you putting out content on YouTube. And I mean, that same YouTube content can drive traffic to your Twitch the same way it drives traffic to your YouTube. So I mean, to me, like I don't know.
That's why I was saying, like, for YouTube, it's best to do it in the forms of shorts, because you can take that content that you put on YouTube Shorts and you can plug it into Instagram, you can plug it into Facebook, you can plug it into TikTok, and you have what turned from one source of viewership into 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, 10,000%. I go Instagram, TikTok, like all of it, pretty much.
See, we were having a conversation about that, and with someone else, we were talking about the Kick thing, and I told him, I said, I could foresee if Kick does become big and it does become a rival to Twitch, how long is it before someone comes in, a big corporation, Microsoft or whatever, comes in, sweeps them up, and then changes everything, and that 95.5 is out the door?
I mean, they are kind of backed by one of the biggest gambling companies online, so they do have a lot of money. So I can't foresee. I mean, I guess they could, but if they did that, majority of their big streamers like Aiden and stuff like that, who are controversial / like gambling streamers, they'd lose all those people, right? And that's, I mean, they could buy it to kill it. That'd be like the only reason to buy this company for them.
I do see a problem with Kick though. I kind of see Kick going in the same route that Mixer kind of went through, where it's gonna end up just crashing and burning. With the whole like situation with Aiden, like just straight up streaming adult content, especially with like a lot of his viewers are like kids, it's problematic. And so if they found a way to where they were able to kind of circumnavigate those issues, maybe it might stand a chance. But at the same time, I'm just very skeptical about it.
Yeah, but how can you filter someone who can change their birth date to anything they want without putting photo ID on there?
Well, I mean, but you can only fly under the FCC's radar for so long, right?
Right.
I mean, eventually they're gonna start, cracking heads. And I mean, who are the first to fall? People like Aiden, right? Like, I mean, he's the most visible, and you got people on multiple platforms talking about him, right? So like, this is known, and I mean, that's what concerns me about it. But I mean, that also is what's driving the hype to it too, right? That's what's pumping it right now. So it's like, I don't know.
I think in 6 months the hype will die down or disappear. Like just like with Mixer, like if Mixer was still around now, I'd be partnered on Mixer. That's how well I was doing over there. Like, but now it's just completely stupid. Like they were bought out by Facebook because they thought they could do better, and they just killed it.
So,
I think it's
I would say
important.
I'd have to agree with SirState there. 6 months, yeah.
but what about, so just to throw a stick in the spoke here, with YouTube Shorts, with Facebook Shorts, and all that shit. I've had a prediction about this for a bit, but I'm curious if anybody else might be offered something similar. I think TikTok is fizzling or becoming more body and automated, and synthetic as far as traction overall is concerned. I think people are gravitating away from it.
See, from what I've seen on TikTok, is if you want to make it on TikTok, you need to be posting 6 or 7 videos a day.
Yeah, I'm not into it. I
Right.
can't.
How can you do that? Come up with so many different concepts and so many different ideas to keep it fresh. You can't. So you end up repeating the same videos, doing different things, and that's why it's dying. Is because nobody can keep the trends fresh. They
Yeah.
just keep repeating them, but using a different song or doing a different dance. It's the same shit. Like nobody wants to see the same shit over and over again. If they want to see the same shit over and over again, they just go and watch someone who just streams Rocket League or just streams Valorant, or they play the same game over and over and over again.
See, and this
It's just
actually,
Interesting.
if it's okay if I like chime in here,
Yeah,
like if you look at like for example Vati Video, right, on YouTube as well as TikTok and all those others, he is like a Soulsborne specific streamer who like goes into the lore and makes constant videos over different sections of the lore. And this actually ties into like one of the later concepts of the podcast tonight is like sustainability and long term of like whether or not you're playing one game or playing multiples as a variety streamer. Like it really just depends on what your niche, however you properly pronounce it. You got to find your niche.
Yeah. Your nicheness.
I don't know. The niche.
you're asking the wrong guy,
Bless you.
bro. I'm dyslexic.
It is niche.
Yeah. All right, so this actually kind of leads into the next question that we had coming up too. What either circumstances, situation, time frame, what prompted you to start either streaming and or content creation of some type?
I can tell you mine. Mine's pretty simple.
Sure.
So I'm disabled, so I can't actually do what I'm trained to do. I can't work in a kitchen anymore because I have fibromyalgia and I can't stand up for long periods of time. My back and my knees, I'm in incredible amounts of pain, hence why I'm medicating with cannabis. Um, but so I do it as an actual additional income to help my family, because if I didn't, we'd be like, I know it's only like $50 a month, but like that can go a long way for someone like me and my family.
sure.
Like it can maybe treat us to have like a takeaway for a night or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just that little bit of extra things that we probably wouldn't have, we can have, and that's why I enjoy it so much.
That's diapers for the month. That's all sorts of shit.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. For me, it was a way to just kind of stretch my creative brain because I'm a very creative person. And one of the avenues I want to get into is music. Um, but one of the things that the Air Force is really prevalent about is finding ways to de-stress after work. Because I work on the flight line and I fix planes, and it can get very, very stressful. So being able to stream on Twitch or YouTube or whatever kind of helps me exercise my creative brain, helps me decompress and de-stress, and just be able to share common interests with people and just hang out and build friendships.
For me, I started when I was like in like high school. Started in like a media tech class. I really liked editing videos, so I started making CS:GO content. Well, actually, it was CS 1.3 or 4 or whatever it was back in the day. and like I started becoming like a semi-professional player. So I started creating more and more content for CS. And then after that, it just kind of Justin TV had come out, and I was kind of fizzling on YouTube. So then I made the jump to Justin TV, like literally just before it changed over to Twitch. And then yeah, since then I've been streaming on Twitch.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I do. I guess I can continue. I can elaborate. I do it because it de-stresses me. It helps me relax, and I do it because I love content creation, photo editing, video editing, whatever it is. I enjoy it. I love building a community, meeting new people. And recently, my dad passed, so I moved 5 hours away from home. So I don't have any friends, literally real life friends here where I live now. So it is like my like social outlet as well. So yeah, it's my outlet as a whole.
Yeah, I'd
It's a
like to second
huge
that
part.
too, because like
Absolutely.
I've come to realize like I'm getting married this year, and like I'm having to invite friends that live 2-3 hours away because I'm gonna have nobody turn up otherwise. All my family live 400 miles away from me, so it's very likely they're not gonna show up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck it. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. They miss out.
That's true. It's 100% true.
I mean, one good thing about streaming, like one of my friends, he recently proposed to his wife, and he wanted like his friends to be around, and like a couple of his real life friends came, but one of his real life friends is also my friend on there, so he streamed basically him proposing, so like all of us could still be there. But it was streamed through Discord, but still, I mean, like we were able to like all see it happen and be there for him at least, right? So I mean, even though we're not there in person, it's still something, you know. Like we're still friends.
Yeah, that I met these boys that I'm inviting, and who I asked to be my best man through streaming. So that's why
Hell
it's
yeah.
like really important to me. So I asked. It's called Mr. Frosty 87. I asked him to be my best man.
Yeah, Frosty, fucking right.
Yeah,
So
that's
awesome, dude.
it's cool streaming the people that I've met. Like I just had like a couple of months ago, I had lunch with a friend who lives in the UK that I met through streaming, and it was just cool to actually get to meet everybody. So for me, I mean, I got into streaming. It's just I've always played games. I'm an old school gamer, way back Atari 2600 old school gamer. So
Nice.
I've always been into games. Games have always been a passion for me. I've always kept up with the industry. COVID hit, and I thought to myself, well, I play games anyways. I ain't getting out and seeing people no more, so let's meet people digitally.
Same thing happened with me.
Yep.
You know, I was just like, "Yep, it's a way to. I'm already playing, so why not try it out?" You know, now I'm figuring, no, let's try stuff like this. You know, like seems, it's an adventure, and some people you can take it how you want it. Some people take it more seriously, some more casually, and as long as you're having fun, how does it matter?
Yeah, for me, I started back when coronavirus originally started, like probably
Yep.
maybe like 6 months into it. Whether or not I stay consistent with streaming, no. Like there's, life gets in the way, a lot of personal things that I probably don't really want to get into right now, but like, you gotta stop. Like sometimes you have to take like 6-7 month breaks in between, and it's life. But
Absolutely.
So yeah, for me it was kind of two things. One was start off as an extra side job because I was originally working during COVID. Thank God I still had the job. But my therapist thought it would be a great idea for me to make friends because of problems from the military, getting out and everything. So, and to be honest, it's been a really great concept. I've made hundreds of friends, to be honest. Great community and all sorts of other people's streams, not just mine. So definitely it was a great choice to listen to the therapist on that one.
What branch did you serve?
Army.
Nice.
I was when I signed up, it was a 21 Bravo, but I got switched to a 12 Bravo before I got out. It was a combat engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, the social fill in is pretty huge, and I think I was also during COVID, kind of brought into to the streaming bit. It was about same thing, probably about like I think it was August that year, and it right at the end of August, and it was as simple as I had was aware of Twitch, but I didn't it wasn't anything I regularly visited. Very rarely would be if somebody sent me a specific clip or something. Most of the time, I didn't have any big or small streamers that I watched regularly. Was too balls deep into just games themselves. But it was just one night that, and it's our Voltron squad is my wife and two long standing friends from like schoolboy days, and that was like our four person squad, and it was just one night where they said they basically collectively said they're like, you don't shut the fuck up or stop singing while you're playing games. Why don't you just try streaming? And I'm like, oh, okay, bet. And then that's it. And it's been 6 nights a week since then, barring like extreme sicknesses or familial need. But yeah, dove both feet in right out the gate.
Yeah, I'd say I wasn't taking it serious until COVID hit, and then once COVID hit, I was like deep in Fortnite. So I was playing every day with my cousins and stuff, and I started taking it serious. And like I set a schedule. First, I was like 7 days a week, literally, and then I switched it to Monday to Friday. Dude, it was hard, but you know how much traction I gained in that first month, and still majority of the people that come through my streams are from when I was doing 7 days a week because they always expected me. They always knew I was going to be there every night, right? So like I was getting a lot of views, but it was I started having like panic attacks, and I know it was due to sleep because I was working the hospital during COVID, right? So I'm working in the ICU ward around all COVID patients. Like I'm fucking fully stressed out. Sorry, excuse my language. And yeah, and like it was again it was my escape, and because I was doing it so much to escape because of COVID, it turned into more of like a half-ass second career.
Evolved, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of the same here. It's a half-ass second career for me. One that I'm very poorly working at, but not kind of very poorly working my main career too. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It became my only career now.
Actually, me too. Actually, since I moved, my wife went back to being a butcher. She's a butcher by trade, so she's like level 2 or whatever the hell her seal is. And so she's a butcher, and she really wanted to go back to work. And we have 4 kids, so 3 of them would be in daycare. It would be almost like pointless to put them in daycare because it would cost us our paycheck pretty much. So I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I focus on this now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. For years, my wife was a stay-at-home because at the time we had 2 daughters that were 15 months apart, and I got to looking what it would cost for daycare, and I told her, I said, your whole check would go to daycare. What's the point of working? Stay home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, 10,000%. I think it was like $1,600 a month or something stupid. So it's like, well, I mean, I'd make $600 more, but why would I? Like the stress that it was causing during COVID and stuff, and all the shit that was going on, and my wife just wants to go back to work anyway. So like, why not make our life easier, right?
It was just last week. I posted it up in the Discord somewhere or another, probably the Wall of Shame. But I had it was at this convenience store, like fancy dancy convenience store, kind of like a crunchy, like hippie dippy convenience store. Everything's like organic and expensive. Stopped in there just for a minute, and they had a little tearaway sheet on the wall, and it was advertising for childcare, and it was $500 a week, one child. So
yeah, that's wild.
But this is
Pretty nuts.
$70 game titles, $500 daycare. Like this is the direction things are heading right now. And granted, this particular individual, I knew nothing else about them other than what they wrote on there, which was that they were bilingual. They spoke English and French, and it's like, well, I don't give a shit what language you're speaking when you plop a kid in front of a TV for 6 hours that I'm not aware of. Like, yeah, because that's how most of these shitty places are. Not all of them. I ran daycare for a while there, and I enjoyed it. It burnt me out doing that and working for a bank at the time. It's just too much.
Yeah, I was going to say that was probably one of those little tearaway at Jenny's house for $500, and Jenny's just going to put them in front of the TV while she does whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing,
she likes Timmy in the bathroom.
Yeah, she likes Timmy in the bathroom. The other thing is as a parent, those of us that are parents, you're always looking and watching stuff, and the horror stories that come out of some of these daycares, I'm like, I would have murdered someone if they did what they did to my kid.
Yep.
Yeah, not to mention like the brainwashing, like pushing their ideas on kids and stuff way too young.
Absolutely.
I like to, instill my values in my children, not some random person I really don't know. Because let's face it, when you hire a daycare, half the time it's a rotating door of people coming in and out. So like you never know who these people really are that are coming in there. You get to know one of them. You're like, I really like this person. They're gone, and you like, okay, it's a new person. I have no idea who this is.
We actually just recently may or may not have gotten an update from someone that we did use previously for childcare. Back when I was doing I was still doing the streaming, but I was doing the landscaping during the day too, which destroyed my car. So I don't know if it was worth it in the end. But they just the husband just got pinched recently for like trafficking or something. Something not fantastic. He's gonna go away for a little bit type stuff. And it's like, oh, cool. Wonder how much of that was potentially going on. Well, my kid was there.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's not that they're all bad. There are some good ones out there. You can find good eggs, but it's just there's far more shitty ones out there than there are actually decent ones.
I had a friend that worked at a daycare, and the horror stories that she would tell me of like just how like the employees would operate it was awful, and it just completely turned me off from like when I have kids like sending them to the daycare. So it's just no shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say my mom worked daycare for the base here in town for 20 years, and the stories that she would come back of other workers and Navy moms coming and dropping their kids off, absolutely just snot pouring out, going, "I can't deal with him today. I want to go home and just sleep."
Yep. Ugh. Nope. All right, and this we're still kind of on a related here. Did I switch my thing correctly? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Sorry. Blurb. So this kind of leads into the next piece that I was thinking, which is what are either and can be both, either or. What are some of the main things that you either strive to provide or are working towards, and or appreciate if you're on the other side as a viewer? Space concepts, general broad strokes, or as specific as you want.
I guess I can go first. Having a constant schedule so everybody can know when I'm live, and trying to stay as consistent as I can without it affecting my life. If I'm sick, I'm taking the day off, kind of thing. Building a positive community. We don't want no negativity. I mean, I might say some negative but funny things sometimes. You know what I mean? But it's all in good fun kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like support for support, man. I'm looking for people to hang out with me, and I'll come hang out with them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think for me, I would like to build a community, working on building it. As a viewer, this is also the other thing I like is I like a community where you're like Cheers. Everybody knows your name and they're glad you came. That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of community I like. I like when I show up into your stream or Atomic stream or whatever. When you get there, you're like, hey, glad you came. That's the kind of stuff that I like, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm trying to build where a community is. Is come hang out with me. Pull up a bar stool, grab a drink. If you don't drink, pull up a bar stool and just shoot the breeze.
I sent him a feet pic, so he'd say that. By the way,
Literally the holy chill.
Altos.
Got the dogs out.
I guess what I'm first of all, I want to say sorry I'm late. Good evening, gentlemen. I apologize for that.
Good evening.
Hello there.
I guess what I'm trying to strive for is it's more of a personal thing than it is a stream thing because I mean I haven't streamed in a couple of months at this point. I'm just trying to get back into that groove.
Yeah, breaks are a good thing. You can give you some perspective checks and shit.
It's hard taking a break though, because like if you had a personal experience, when you take that 5, 6, 7 month break, when you come back, you are essentially restarting. And it can be extremely demoralizing, and that's what a lot of people like when they start streaming. They end up quitting completely because they get so focused on the numbers rather than the fact that they're there to build a personal community. No one wants to go into a stream, especially like as a viewer myself. No one wants to go into a stream and then be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" and then just into you want that personal relationship with whoever is in that community with the streamer themselves, and that's what I've noticed. Like a lot of people who don't tend to like stream after 2 3 months, they're not about that. They're literally like, "Oh, I didn't reach my money goal. I'm gonna stop." You know?
Yeah, that's definitely something I got to work towards as well.
To kind of piggyback on that too, I took about a year and like 2 month break from streaming just because of personal stuff that was happening with my life. Like I had to completely relocate, and then obviously had to go through the whole recruitment process for the military, and that took a long time. And I just started getting started streaming on YouTube now. And like you said, like starting completely over was just it sucks, but like at the same time, I already knew like what sort of traction I was getting while I was on Twitch, and just having so much fun just like building those relationships and friendships made it worth it. And so I'm gonna be persistent with the streaming, and it's a hobby for me right now. And I'm definitely excited to grow a community on YouTube. So
Yeah,
That's
to
awesome.
tie in with what Chimp and them said. Yeah, see, I took a 2 month break myself because I did get focused on the wrong thing. I got focused on numbers and not building that community I wanted to build.
That can be maddening.
And so I took that hard reset, and I think while coming back, it is a little harder coming back, but it's also easier if that makes sense because you already know what pitfalls to not pit. You know what pitfalls are going to come up down the road, and you already know how to navigate around them because you've been there already and you've done it. You have that experience.
right.
Yeah, it's kind of like a new game plus.
Right, right, right. But yeah, understanding that there's going to be way more things that are outside of your actual control than you actually have control of, and that there's going to be peaks and valleys. It's a wavelength. It's a wavelength, and as long as you know that when it's ebbing, it's expect to flow, and vice versa. It's just you're stay along for the ride. Make it fit your life, instead of vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time when they ask about, well, I'm thinking about streaming. I tell them, okay, well, you need to sit down and spend at least 3 months learning because I jumped in feet first and there was so much shit that I wish I had known before I started because it was straight up baptism by fire for me.
Yeah, my first stream, I got rated by oh, what was his name? Um, I forget, but he ended up rating my stream, and he didn't realize that there was a bot in his chat, and so I got rated by like thousands of bots. And at first, I thought it was a bunch of people. I'm like, holy shit, who are all these people? Like, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then it took one of my good friends from school, and he's also a streamer, Hooded Hero. He was like, bro, these are all bots, and I'm like, oh shit. And it was a funny experience, but was, it was a good like intro to like streaming, so it was just funny.
That was literally your
Speaking of
very
bots,
first stream.
Yeah, my very first stream. I was streaming on I think it was Final Fantasy 14, and yeah, I just got rated by like thousands of bots, and the streamer like reached out to me and he apologized like, bro, I'm so sorry, but you took it like a champ. I'm like, it was funny. I don't know.
yeah, Frosty got follow botted today. 500 people follow botted by.
People pay to do these things. It's
Yeah, it's like
ridiculous.
$500, isn't it?
I think for 500 because I got hit with one 500 and I think someone told me it was like 30-40 bucks. But still, it's like
Yeah, but
go throw some subs into someone's
Yeah,
channel. Like
give it to
they're
the
gonna get cleaned up
streamers.
automatically by Twitch, and they did. I didn't
Yeah.
lift a finger, and they went away. So it's what's the fucking point?
So Frosty's now got more followers than me by like 30.
It'll revert.
Yeah, I
It'll
know.
get
I'm
swept.
like, bro, what the fuck?
Well,
That's
that's a conversation I got into with another friend of mine. She found out that one of her friends who's streaming is view botting, and I'm like, why? Why? I mean, what advantage are you other than yeah, you're getting some really inflated fake numbers, but in the long run, it's like winning a participation trophy. It doesn't mean anything.
I'm the only bald
It'll
one. Yeah, I
help
mean,
you
hey.
up the algorithms for discoverability closer to the front page in some cases, because they go back and forth a bit with what they use for what's on the landing or the front page of
Hey,
Twitch.
I mean, I have a hat, so
I
I
don't
can
know.
wear it too.
Yeah,
Here.
but it's a shortcut for life.
Watch
and,
this.
and there is no shortcut in life.
No, that's a fair view.
See, I got a hat.
I'll say,
I
yeah,
mean-
but for me,
but I don't like
the
wearing it.
whole striving and everything would just be make sure everything's interactive. I like that thing for having everybody something when people come to mind. It's something for them to do, regardless if it's the stream itself or just commands or anything like that. And then as a viewer, it's just as long as the streamer is sitting there talking to me. I don't want to go into somebody to say hi and then I get ignored. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate that. I will immediately unfollow just from that right there.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Hmm.
That's a tough one even to be in the chat and watch that happen too. It's just like, oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now
I mean, I guess
circling-
it's got to be circumstantial, right? Because if they're deep in the middle of a game and they're being shot out from all
Yes.
different fucking directions.
Oh no, I'll say yeah. No,
That's a good point.
I'll say yes. I
Reach
give them
out
the
and-
opportunity. I give them the opportunity. It's not like I say hi and then they say hi and that's it. And they're and I give them 1 second. No, I give them 5, 10, 15 minutes. I'll even try messaging again. And if I'm still being ignored, gone.
But that is a very good point too, and I encourage anybody. I've got it as like a 15 or 20 minute timer in my Nightbot, and it says just that. If I'm derping away in 7 Days to Die, which I'm gonna get back to hopefully soon, in just losing my mind in a cavern somewhere, I should be looking at my chat more or less like a rearview mirror in a car. Like shouldn't be too neglected. But there's a
Get
specific
rewards
message that
from it.
comes up, and it says, just with respect to, especially in competitive play or in playing with other people, with respect to their time as well, I may be a bit in between responses if I'm playing sweaty stuff. And it was more concise than that. But that's basically what it says.
That's why I like
Definitely a good thing.
that's why I like streaming Final Fantasy 14, which is an MMO, is because I can spend a lot of time just chatting with people and just have the game in the background, and it's a very chilled game. And yeah, there's going to be moments where it's just like I'm doing a dungeon and there's going to be like a lot of stuff that's going on, but I still try and take the time to look at chat and still try to interact with them.
Not going to be a getting over it speedrunner.
Nope.
Well,
No, and I feel
I
like
do it mid competition too. Like, so I'll be drifting. So like mid competition tandem drifting, and someone will write someone in my chat, and I straight away do that, and I fuck up, and I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck.
so it takes a micro moment.
It is really important as a streamer, though, especially as a smaller streamer, to be as on top of your chat as possible. If you're if you're playing Dark Souls or whatever, you're gonna die. You need to take that death to interact with your chat to build that personal, because you're not Stone Mountain, you're not Tim the Tatman, you're not XQC, you're not Ninja. You can't sit there and ignore your chat for hours on end. You can't do that. And as a viewer, that is the number one thing that'll drive me away personally, is if I say hey, what's going on, and it takes you 10, 15, 20 minutes to get back to me. I'm already gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in someone else's stream for 10, 15, 20 minutes at that point. But how you're saying how you play Final Fantasy 14, MMOs are really good at giving you that opportunity. Because for example, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft on stream, and you're able to especially sit there and if you know what you're doing, explain what you're doing, taking the time to go in depth and create that content for your viewers. So you're not taking what could essentially be a boring game to view and make it a learning and enjoyable experience.
That's why I like doing my APW shows, because I get to sit there, talk to chat, and it's interactive for them, and that's it's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a great example.
That's the reason I'm predominantly a sim survival streamer guy, because they are those slower games that give me time to interact with chat. On the occasion where I will do a Fortnite stream here and there, I have, much like Owen, I have a thing in my chat that says, "Hey guys, if I'm busy, I'll get back to you," and I verbally will say, "Chat, I'll be with you in a minute. Just I'm trying not to get my ass shot."
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same. So if I notice something out of the corner of my eye and I'm dead tandem with someone, I'm sat in their passenger seat, with my car, right next to them, I'll say, "Oh yeah, look, bear with me. I'll get back to you after this run," or whatever, or bear with me, chat. I'm just concentrating. Sorry, I'm a bit locked in because that's what I call it. Because if you think about it, you're just getting focused in on the game, so you really are locked in, right? You're just focused on this, and you may see all this shit going on to your left or your right or in front of you or however you got it, but you're not paying attention enough to be able to read that at a quick glance, because you don't know if it's one sentence, one word, 6 words. Do you know what I mean? And like with me, looking over with my left eye is my good eye, right? But looking over like that while you're driving, that second is over. That's how we're at 60 mile an hour going through corners sideways, right next to each other, and all it takes is one little correction like that, and we're both fucked.
Yeah, because at the risk of oversimplifying, you that is a speed run. That is a speed run. That's basically the definition of a speed run. You don't have the opportunity to have that. Even in a shooter game, I'm gonna do the crouch and wobble dance. So if somebody cracks a shot at me, they still have a very good chance of missing. You don't have the luxury of that. You don't have that moment to look away.
Yep.
Locked in is yeah.
Yeah, like when I started, I was terrible with interaction. Like I will admit it, And when I started playing Tarkov, I was like, I need to make sure I focus on like reading messages and stuff, because it makes me feel like shit whenever, if I I notice a message like, oh, that was like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, oh, like it makes me feel bad. Like, hey man, you got to pay attention to. I try to make a mental note. Playing a game like Tarkov, you look at the wrong time, you catch one of the head, and it's like, wow, I just wasted an hour. So it's in a way made me better at it, because it's like drifting, right? It's like one of those, like, there's high stakes times, so you got to just know when to do it. So whenever I'm playing another game, it kind of made it easier for me to focus on it, in between moments.
Yeah, for sure.
And that kind of feeds into the benefits of at least having some variety in your gaming, whether it's stuff you don't even necessarily stream, even still counts. But I mean, like, I've seen some dudes that I actively follow and support and stuff. Like one for example, he's played 7 Days to Die full time for over a year straight, because he can't get away from it. And I couldn't do it. But same thing, like those high pressure games, like the drifting and stuff. Like you have to have that balance. You bopping into a Rocket League, or playing in a survival game, or your Pokemon game and stuff. SirState, like I think having that balance is part of, as beneficial it is mentally to be able to have the adult interaction, like we spoke to earlier. Also having kind of that variety of, you don't need your blood pressure up here like around the clock. It shouldn't be up here constantly. Some of that is healthy. All of it is not.
Right.
Yo, what would you call me, like, say 6 months ago? Would I be just a COD streamer? And now, like, I play every night. I'm playing COD, but I also play, like, half of my stream will be COD because I play with my wife. And then now I'm playing VR games, driving games, GTA. Like, I'm playing everything.
Yeah, it's one of those that you'll start on one. Like, I predominantly started playing Forza and COD. Yeah, I still play Forza and COD, but I don't play them solidly for one stream like I used to.
37.4.
Shut up. I used to do fucking 6 or 7 hours, like, just on one game, and this was before I was affiliate. And then I don't even know if he streams anymore. He's called Madman TV. He was talking to me. I was like, I just can't get affiliate. He was like, well, stop streaming for 8 hours then, you fucking idiot, and you'll get it. And I was like, yeah, but I want to stream. Don't tell me how to do my stream. It's my stream. I'll do it. And then I was like, well, no, he's actually right. So, no, Butchie, you're just jealous I stole your fucking Jammy Dodgers and swapped it for your dad's Avon.
See, that's the problem with, like, people who are just fresh to streaming, is they want to stream 24 hours a day. And when you're trying to get affiliate, that is the worst thing you can possibly do. And it is honestly the most simple thing you can do. Yep. You can get affiliate within a week of starting. 100%. Easy. Yep. All you have to do is just have 3 people pull you up, get 75 followers, stream for the minimum of each day that you need. Boom, you have affiliate. That's it. People struggle so much with like I want to stream, I want to stream. That is the wrong thing to do when you're just starting off. When you're just starting off, networking is 100% the only thing you should be doing. Take that if you're going to stream for 6 hours a day, take 2, 3 of those hours, stream and then network for the rest. That is
I'd probably even recommend take 5 of them hours for networking and only stream for an hour.
yeah,
Mhm.
even that. Do the
And you've
bare
got-
minimum that you
yeah.
need.
You've got your 3 viewers for that hour, and it's gonna look at 3, because that's how the average works. It goes off the hour, not the minute, because that's just be stupid to try and work that out.
And
then
even with
another issue-
even with YouTube, like live streaming 24 hours on YouTube is just you're not going to get any sort of growth at all. So you could spend like a minimum of like 3 hours of live streaming, and then you could spend some more time recording a video, and then spending that time to edit the video and then upload, and then that's how you grow.
Yeah, especially
Yeah, and
since
the
you said it was the shorts and stuff are where
Mhm.
most of your traction and exposure is coming from on
Right.
that platform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one caveat about shorts on YouTube though is that it doesn't count towards viewership, so it kind of sucks, and I wish that they would, but
Gotcha.
That's kind of dumb, I won't lie.
yeah, it is.
That's one thing that'll get you real far, at least on YouTube. Maybe not necessarily if you're a live streamer, but if you're just making videos and shit, if your editing is top tier,
Mhm.
I mean, you could have like 100,000 viewers or 100,000 subs by the end of the month.
Right.
Yep.
And just understanding the YouTube algorithm as well, just like really knowing like when to post and all that sort of stuff will definitely help a lot.
See, and that's one thing I will admit my biggest weakness in content creating is I am not good at editing things and making it.
Same.
I have all these ideas. I just ain't got a clue how to do them.
Same. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. Like I have one video on my YouTube and it took me about 8 hours to edit, and I've had like other videos that I've released on YouTube and I was just like all of this is just dog shit. So I ended up deleting them, and then the one video that I have, it's a Valorant video. I'm like this is actually pretty good. And yeah, it's a lot, it's time consuming as well, and just trying to find that niche is just can be difficult.
Well, circling back to what Chimp was talking about, I've talked with a lot of people, networking that are up and coming streamers, and I've told them, I'm open to anybody. I will tell them send me your bar graph, and I will look at it. And some of these people have sent me stuff in a week's time. They have like 48, hours streaming, and I like okay. First off, number one, you're streaming too long.
Oh.
2 hours max, and no less than 3 viewers. Once you drop below 3 viewers, find a polite way to end the stream and get out of there. Because I tell every one of them, on your path to affiliate, Twitch is a numbers game. After that, once you get affiliate, you can stream for as long as you want. Nobody's going to care. But that first push to affiliate is all about the numbers game.
But like, I would argue, are they doing it the right way? I mean, I don't know, because is it making you better at streaming by like you're kind of gaming it, right? Like, so is it actually making you better at streaming, or like maybe if you have to stream, like there's a certain hour amount, like a total. So, obviously you don't want, it's not good to be streaming, 8 hours a day or 10, 12 hours, like every single day. You're going to burn yourself out,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the requirements might be a little bit off. Might be more beneficial if they adjusted some of the stuff.
I think especially with YouTube, they definitely need to change the numbers. It's ridiculous, honestly.
No, did they still have the Monster Cat thing though? Like, can you literally buy affiliate, or was that a temporary campaign? Because that was a thing at one point.
Yeah, I do remember Hooded Hero used a lot of Monster Cat. I'm not sure. I'll ask him.
This is the first I'm hearing about any of this.
Oh yeah, it was since I started anyway. So it was. I think I got affiliate, and then it was a matter of, I think it was less than a year later, maybe a matter of months after, and I was like, well, that's mildly frustrating. Kind of get it, I guess, but mildly frustrating. And this,
Now,
sorry, go ahead.
now that if they do want to stream the 8 to 10 hours, if they're not looking to make affiliate, then that's fine. That's all their thing. And yeah, the more you're in front of the camera, the more you find your stage presence. But you know, if they have a gold set that I want to be affiliate by such, then there is a formula to play the numbers game.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Yep.
And this we've kind of actually already covered it for the most part, but just in case there is something specific to this, I don't want it to necessarily feel like it fell through the cracks. So the next piece is, what are your thoughts or personal experience behind what's generally considered to be like the grind? And I think we've kind of hit some of that, but again, if anything unturned.
So I'm an everyday streamer. So like, every day, 4 to 6 hours, maybe 8 hours, depending on how I feel. But I see it as like a full-time job for me because I can't do anything else and other than that. So that's the way I see it. So if I don't put the hours in, I don't make anything from ad revenue, or I don't generate viewers, I don't generate subs, and I don't grow a community. So like, if I put the time in, I'm gonna get what I put in out. Is the way I see it.
Have you hit any of those like hard stops? The burnout, even temporary, nothing.
I did when I was doing every other day. I was getting burnt out. I guess I was just not having anywhere to put my energy, and I was just not sleeping and stuff. I'm not really eating, and if I was eating shit that I shouldn't be eating, like. And then like something just clicked in my head, and I've been sleeping better. I've been going every day. Other than I took a week off because I got a cyst on my behind. I couldn't I couldn't sit down. I had to lay down, so I couldn't sit in the chair. So I was
Damn.
like in that much discomfort, and I was like, "Well, fuck. Well, I guess I can't stream because I can't exactly lie on my side on my sofa. See the sofa behind me. I pulled it closer and was laying on my side so I could talk to the boys while they were streaming and stuff, so I could at least help them do their content creation, so they're not on their own and have someone to have a conversation with and keep topics rolling and stuff like that. Because I find that helps me when I'm streaming, is to have someone to talk to, so I'm not just sat there going,
I mean, you could have done an I'm only sleeping stream, but respect.
Nah, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Where's
Hot tub
fucking High
streams.
Spat with his fucking soundboard when you need him, bro?
For me, and this is just my hot take on the grind thing. It's a very 80-20 thing. 20% of what you do in front of the camera needs to be backed up by 80% of what you're doing off camera. And it's just and it's real. The grind's real. I mean, like I said, one of my weak spots is I don't edit videos all that well, and it's something that I'm slowly, when my brain tells me to do it, and I don't get sidetracked with, ooh, look, shiny game to play.
Right.
It's something that I'm constantly on YouTube watching stuff about, and because it's like any other entertainment thing. What you do behind the camera, you do the majority of your work behind the camera to put on the show in front of the camera.
Right, it's the overall completed production or products. Yeah,
It's
makes
like
sense.
when I come down to start, I have to make sure the wheels turned on, the Logitech's updated, the handbrake's working, the shifter's working, I'm in the right click in the seat.
You're right.
Like,
Your RAM
there's a
stick's not
whole-
fried.
Yeah, fuck you. And a lot of other shit. Like, yeah, speaking of PCs, my C drive that was in there has fried itself too. So, fuck you too.
He's coming
Luckily,
through.
yeah, luckily. No, don't fucking say that, bro.
Your gamer chair is gonna fall apart. I can see it.
I mean, the old one was kind of falling apart, so we'll take it. That's the third thing.
Shit.
If I convert how much I paid for this wheel stand, you'd probably cry.
I'm already crying thinking about it.
Close
So
to $600.
sheesh, yeah, exactly. For me, it's all about like balance, right? Like, so I used to do 7 days a week. I was doing 7 days a week and then 5 days a week at the hospital. It burned me out. I've never been a person to have panic attacks, dude. But I was playing airsoft on weekends and streaming and like being crazy with it and creating airsoft content for YouTube and like just overextending and overexerting myself and sleeping like 4 to 5 hours a day. And it fucked me up, man. Like, I swear I have high blood pressure now and I've been having panic. No, not really so much anymore, but I have had quite a few panic attacks lately. So I've kind of like stepped back 5 days a week. I start at 7:30 when the kids are in bed, and I play until 12 o'clock, and then I try to get 6+ hours of sleep, but that never works because I have kids. But I mean, you have to find that like balance that works for you without overexerting yourself, especially if you want to make this work. You actually have to put in the work and grind, like you said, right? Like like the word is, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's yeah, you gotta find a balance.
It truly is all about balance. It's between the grind and taking care of yourself. Like, what a lot of people will do is they'll spend all their time, their energy into not only their streaming career, but if they're having any other career as well, and they'll just burn out, and then they lose that drive, that passion that really fueled them to begin in the first place.
Yeah, 10,000%.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with balance completely.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of what I took my break for, was because I was trying to balance a full-time job, streaming, a family, some personal issues that were coming up, and it was just, without getting too deep into the woods, it was one of those. We had some financial stuff, and it's kind of hard to put 100% into a stream when you're worried about where the next grocery bill's coming from.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Physical
understandable.
cash in hand, right?
That was the thing that I struggled with too, like towards the end of like before I took the break. I was finding myself not being able to put like 100% into the streams, and it was noticeable, just like the quality of just like how I was interacting with people. It just looked like I was so burned out, and I was burned out, and I was just struggling with a lot of anxiety of like, how am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to get myself out of the situation? And I just had to stop streaming just so I could take care of myself. And yeah, so burnout is definitely a real thing, and that's something that the Air Force uh, talks a lot about and drives home is trying to find that perfect balance between work, family, hobbies, and interests that you want to do and stuff like that. So
Which unfortunately, we as the American society tends to put on the burner. We are the worst about work-life balance because America is go, 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 and you try to mention work-life balance to anybody, and they're like, that's not a thing.
Right.
Do your job. Shut up.
Right. And that's something that I've heard a lot of the older generation talk about too, is like, no, you just need to be like continue to grind and grind, and like 60 hours, 70 hours a week is like what you need to be hitting. And I'm like, it I don't know. It's just like you need to be able to find ways to like de-stress, and your life doesn't always have to be all work, no play.
I did that. I did the 60 hours, 70-hour week since the age of 18, working in kitchens, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not fun. Like, you work. Like, I lived in a little seaside town, right? So you had no work in the winter. So you worked all summer to survive winter. Like, you had no choice because you're a seasonal town, and you don't get tourism during the winter times. So it's hard. It's like all the prices go up during the summer so they can pay better wages to keep the employees loyal, because if they don't, they're like, well, fuck you, I'm going somewhere else where I can make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I just worked a lot because I was greedy back in the day. Not gonna lie.
I mean, that's valid.
I mean, if you want nice things, you got to work hard for them.
Yeah, I was a car guy when I was
Very
younger
true.
too, right? So we were going racing every Friday night. So it was all about upgrading your car, and then we were going clubbing all weekend. Going to nightclubs and stuff. So it was expensive. So I had to, work hard to play hard. But also, I do live my life nowadays by like, I live to work, not work to live. You know what I mean? So like, I make, as long as my needs are covered, I'm happy. You know what I mean? And I don't want to overwork myself just to gain money. just be like to throw myself into like a mental spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
For real.
that's definitely understandable.
Yeah,
I understand that. Live that.
that's something that my bosses always get. They're like, "You never volunteer for overtime," and I tell them I've been in this industry for over 2 decades. I've done my share and your share of overtime. I'm going home and spending time with the kids.
Yep.
Fuck
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
especially as a dad. My
The
kids
best
are more
response.
important than their work.
Yep, we were always taught family comes first.
Yep, family first.
Yes, sir.
Unless they're cunts, then you choose your friends.
True.
Very true. I have quite a few cut off family members, but you know, it is what it is.
Yep. I had to cut my best friend out of my life. It was a difficult situation, but it was for the best.
Yeah, same here. I ended up having to cut a friend of mine out he was like a brother to me, and I found out he got into some legal issues that I never thought he would be the guy to do, but yet there it is. So, you know,
Yeah,
you never know just when you think you know a guy, you never really know a guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of had the same experience with one of my best friends, and we used to be like a hangout every day kind of person. Like, I would get off of work, and he'd already be at my house waiting for me to be there, kind of thing. And we were like everyday buddies. And then started getting into some illegal shit, and then he wanted me to sign some stuff saying he did a bunch of work on my, to prove that where he got his money, basically. And like, I was not obviously comfortable doing that. I have kids, and I'm not getting involved in that, right? So I was like, yo, like, respectfully, no, I'm not doing that. Like, first of all, this isn't my house. I was renting at the time, right? So I was like, this isn't my house. I can't say that you did work on my house if you didn't actually do work on my house. And I don't want to get involved with your legal shit. And I don't want to get myself in trouble when I have a family. Like, no freaking way. So, you just got to cut out the negative pieces, right?
Fairly certain that's called something like aiding and abetting or something or another.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that would be tax fraud too if I did that, right? What I was doing, what he wanted me to do.
I feel like it's important for people to remember that not all friends are meant to be friends forever. You know, sometimes it takes meeting a certain group of friends to realize that, they're help you grow and find the right set of friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's people are human. We tend to grow apart. It's all about growth.
Yeah, I was the unfortunate one that lost his best friend, not by choice.
Yeah, man, I'm with you there. I lost a friend. Yeah, it was it's kind of rough too.
I just lost. I considered him a friend, but my younger brother just passed away from a heart attack. So I could feel you.
Yeah, I've had a few friends in high school.
It's hard.
I've had a few friends in high school that unfortunately ended their lives, and it's every time I get news that like a friend of mine had like committed suicide, it's a hard thing to deal with because it's like I feel like there's something more that I could have done. So,
which of course isn't the case, but that's the natural.
Yeah,
it's part of the phases, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, there's a song that like reminds me of when I lost my brother, and just like the conversation we had about the song, which was it's kind of an emo song about killing yourself. It was a suicide song, right? But it was like about a suicide hotline. Like, it was bad but good. But anyways, we had a conversation about it, and then like a couple weeks later, my brother was clean for 11 years previous to this, but he found out he had mouth cancer, and he started doing cocaine again and had a fentanyl overdose. So like I always felt like I could have did more because he was always like attached to me more than my other siblings, you know what I mean? And like that song always fucks me up, man. Like,
is it
you always
Logic?
feel like you can do more, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
Now, just as a curve here, but this had also just come up as well, and it's part of kind of the grind bit was how often do you watch yourself? Like how often are you editing things, or what percentage or piece of the pie, or how much because
every day.
And Jay Cujo's the guy that brought it up, and he's like, because if you watch stuff, he's like, I've watched some of my own stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, that was like so cringy. And I've had that before too, to the point where it's just like I'm so on the fence about this that I'm just gonna unpublish it, or I'm gonna remove it, or I'm gonna private video it, or whatever the case.
Yeah, like for me, I had to delete a lot of my videos that I made
Yep.
because it was just too cringy. Like I did a Skyrim video where I was like RPing as my character, and just like some of the shit I was saying was just so cringy. I'm like, there's no way I'm keeping this on YouTube, so I ended up deleting it. I think it's a good thing to like watch what you're posting and kind of like analyze what you're doing. I've watched my YouTube video that I have right now like probably 5 or 6 times, and like just analyzing to see like what was working. I realized that like for the first video, I was still trying to figure out what this video was going to be about, and it was just weird. And then towards the end of the video, it sort of started getting its own identity. And so seeing like what works, you want to like nurture that, and also just like seeing what's cringy, just like get rid of it.
Yeah.
If I may chime in here, it's also important to go back and watch your own VODs to tell how your audio is. Like, tweak what you need to do
Mm-hmm.
within your OBS, your Streamlabs, whatever it
Yep.
is, whatever software you're using. It's not only important to see whether or not your content is cringe or not, but
Yep.
yeah, helps with the technical side as
I'll
well.
say, yeah, I'd have to agree. That's how I've been able to fix my stuff and everything, is by just going back, watching, listening to the audio and everything like that.
Yep.
Audio boss is worst boss, man.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that too. Like everybody has said, I'll as soon as I'm off a stream, the next day I will go over it, mostly because I'm scrubbing it for clips, but also checking audio stuff, making sure everything works good, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't work. I mean, that's part of that 80% off camera and it's very important because you know while you're live, you think everything's great, but you don't know what's missing. You don't know what you don't know. So you got to go
Right.
back and find out what you don't know.
And
So
circling
I'm-
back to sorry to interrupt you, but circling back to like what we appreciate as viewers, like I truly appreciate when a viewer's like, "Hey, I can't hear you," or "Your music's too loud," because then that helps you pinpoint your sweet spot without you having to go back into your VOD and doing that. But
Yeah.
go ahead and continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
See, I'm probably the only one that doesn't watch themselves because I hate the sound of my own voice and shit. But I've got friends that are always constantly in my channel and in talking to me in Discord, so they'll always check my audio for me, and I'll check theirs because we're all streaming together. We all work as a little group together. We all keep each other's back, so I don't really have to check my audio stuff and stuff like that. But plus, I got a mixer as well, so once it's set, it's set. So
I'm the
And I
same
kinda-
way. Yeah, I can't. I hate the sound of my own voice. Like when it's coming through audio for whatever reason. I can listen to it like right now that I'm talking. It doesn't bother me, but like when I'm watching a clip or something, it's just like, oh god, why does it sound like that? I don't know.
I mean, personally, I feel like this might be an everyone thing. I feel like every streamer I've had this
Yeah.
conversation with, like, I hate my voice. I hate the way I look on camera, whatever it is. And you just kind of like gotta get over it.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I mean, I understand rewatching it. It is hard. Like even pros of comedy, like Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan, they record their sets, and both of them had said they kind of cringe when they hear their own voice. It's just something I think that's natural, you know?
Yeah, there's actually studies that's been proven that you hear yourself differently than everyone else does.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe
But
it.
it even ties back to like when I was a chef. I used to hate my own cooking. I don't know why. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't eat my own food. But if someone else ate it, they were like, "Yeah, it's delicious. Why can't you eat it?" And I'm just like, I just can't stomach it. I just
Oversaturated.
Yeah.
Oversaturated. You're
Mhm.
working 60, 70 hours a week cooking these foods. It's the last thing you want to do. I used to work in a fucking cubicle. I was on the phone all day. So then it was like people would call me when I'm not at work, and they're like, "Why don't you ever call? Why don't you ever answer your fucking phone?" I'm like, "I don't. I put that fucker in the fucking drawer. I don't want to talk on the phone." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to come home and I used to eat ramen. That was it. I come home and
Right.
eat ramen. Mrs. would come home. What do you want for tea? Do me some popcorn chicken and some ramen. All right, sweet. But because she knows if she didn't make me any food, I wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
Because you spend so much time in there sweating over how other people that have not spent 7 years of their life training to be a chef telling you how you've cooked their steak wrong when
Yeah.
you know you fucking haven't, and they ask for a well done steak when really they should just save the chef the hassle and order the fucking chicken.
Right.
What
Hey, man.
savage eats a well done steak?
For real though.
You'd be
Your
surprised.
grandma.
Pure caveman, that too.
I'll take a medium rare chicken.
Oh, don't even
Oh,
start.
fucking hell.
Don't even
Extra
start.
salmonella
medium
on the
rare
side?
chicken.
Yes, please.
There was a news article of a family that lived on raw food only. So they'd eat raw chicken and never have salmonella or food poisoning or anything like that.
They're
I'm
called
just like, how?
Neanderthals.
That's nasty.
That's nasty.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
had
Boy
raw
ain't
beef.
right. That whole family ain't right. Shit.
That's messed up. I had a customer
Uh,
order a gluten-free quesadilla with no cheese, so it was literally just like a cracker with like beans and meat. And I'm like, okay, well, the point of a quesadilla is to have cheese in it because it's a quesadilla, like. And then I had one lady order a nacho blanket, like nachos, but she didn't want any of the chips. She just wanted the nacho cheese and chicken in it. And I'm like,
The hell?
you're gonna clog up your arteries in your stomach line.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'd like
Yeah,
a
see,
double cheeseburger, but hold the meat because I don't want no beef.
And I had
Those
another
two.
customer order like chicken wings, but she wanted them like cooked like for 30 minutes in the fryer. I'm like, so you just want bones? Like all that meat is gonna get pulverized. Like
You just want burn ass chicken.
you just
alright.
want burnt ass chicken. Like
See, like, obviously being from the UK is completely fucking different over here. So your food standards and our food standards are so different.
mhm.
It's unbelievable. So like the plastic cheese will actually melt. It won't just burn.
Yeah,
it's
it'll
the same in
melt.
Canada.
Yeah, it melts.
It's just like
Yes,
the,
the
the-
brand.
Still though, I know what he's saying.
I mean, if you put like American cheese on the grill, obviously it's gonna turn black. But like, yeah,
Yeah, see,
if
our
you put like
cheese
if you put like
won't-
heavy cream with like shredded American cheese, it'll melt.
yeah, but that's
Like,
'cause
there's a
you're
difference
adding
between like
something.
pasteurized and processed, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like our processed cheese, our Swiss cheese you get in the little plastic wrappers that are a bitch
Yeah,
to
it's
get
fire,
out
bro.
to put on your
Throw
burger,
it on a
right?
bologna sandwich, you're good to
Yeah.
go.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly, right. But if you ate ours and then ate yours, you'd be like, "What the fuck have I been eating all my life?"
Yeah, I mean, American food is just so freaking disgusting in general. Like everything is so processed. And I've heard like people who say that they got stationed in Turkey. Like if you go to McDonald's, their McDonald's is so much better than Americans because it's not processed meat or any of like that stuff. So it's so weird.
Yeah, I'm from like just across the border in Bellingham, with Washington. And like as a Canadian, like going across the border, as soon as I cross the border, I can't eat McDonald's. And if
Yeah.
I do, I'm prepared for like stomach aches, like 1 and 2 all day long. Like, it
Yeah.
fucks my gut up right
Yeah.
across the border. And like same when I went to California, same thing, man. Like, or even your guys' coffee. I'm sorry, dude, using that Coffee Mate stuff. Like, why do all of your fast food places use Coffee Mate?
It's
It tastes
disgusting.
It's
crap,
cheaper
dude. It's
than
so
using
gross.
real milk.
I don't
Our
even
Tim Hortons
drink
use
Starbucks.
14%, bro. It's crazy.
That's why like I'll go to a Tim Hortons. Like a Tim Hortons is kind of different in America. I haven't had like a Tim Hortons in Canada, but I don't even drink Starbucks coffee because they charge like $5 for like a small coffee. Whereas like McDonald's, their coffee is like $1.75, and it's so much better than Starbucks.
I mean, I
Those
can't drink
frappuccinos.
coffee, so
I love
Gets the job
coffee.
done.
love coffee.
I literally have
used
coffee
to drink
all
so
day,
much
every day.
coffee, but I can't drink it anymore because of my stomach condition. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, I had
I'm
an
huge.
ulcer before it fucked my stomach up before.
I'm a huge coffee person myself, but I don't put any of that creamer stuff in it. I like my coffee. I got a joke. I like my coffee like I like my women, dark and bitter.
That's excellent.
Fuck, I'm the odd one out. I don't like coffee at all.
Get out of
Can't
here. Do you have
stand the
kids?
stuff.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
That's
why.
why.
Not being fair.
That he's aware of. That he's aware of.
As soon as you
I
have
mean,
kids,
I
I'd
fucking
imagine that'd
hope
change.
not.
So this actually ties into the next piece that I would wanted to get into because I'm skipping one just because we've hit it across the board. But what we're here anyway. Best gamer snacks. What are Jamie Dodgers? I know that's on deck. What else?
I've got. Oh, it depends. Like I like to have a mix between sweet and savory, because sometimes I'm in the mood for nothing but savory, and sometimes I'm in the mood for nothing but sweets. So I've always got like a few bags of sweets and a few bags of like crisps and shit.
I'll be honest, I
I've
never
even
gained.
got American crisps. I've got Lay's.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
See, like I'm a weirdo personally. I don't really like eating anywhere near my computer whatsoever.
Same.
That's
But
what
Yeah.
like if
Coffee, yes.
if I do like get it, yeah, like I have my actually have my cup of coffee here, my cup of water, whatever. But like when I do eat snacks, I usually try to go for something that's not gonna like stick to my fingers. It's not super greasy, so I tend to go for like gummy worms or something, just because I like chewing
Yeah,
on gummy
I'm
worms.
exactly the same.
Sure.
I don't even like
That's
eating
what
in front of
these are
camera, so
for.
I'll never eat during like streams.
This is why you have wipes on hand, so you can clean your hands.
Yeah, I'm
Nah,
kind of
still, they're
like
never
that.
clean enough for me.
I don't
Also,
like
yeah.
eating on camera.
Yeah.
But if I do happen to eat on camera, I'm a beef jerky kind of guy.
Beef
I love
jerky,
beef
yes.
jerky.
I could fuck up some beef jerky, I won't lie, but it's so damn expensive here.
I would
I'm
say
not gonna lie,
consider
I'll eat
everywhere,
dinner
my
if
guy.
I have to on stream, but that's only like in extreme cases. Like today, I'm streaming all day because it's 420. So
Yep.
like I'll order some food and I'll like sit here, but I'm probably gonna be like sitting back here away from all my stuff and not touch anything until dinner's done, kind of thing.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
like this
Also,
chair
yeah.
slides back, so.
I typically don't try to eat unless I absolutely have to, and it's usually like Cheez-Its or Pringles, and that's about it.
Cheez-Its, yeah, that Cheez-Its are like definitely my gamer snack. Like the buffalo Cheez-Its. Oh, so good.
I was
Especially when you're playing
weirdly-
like the cycle or Tarkov, where you can just sit there and get cheesy while you're ratting.
Mm-hmm.
Stank reference, huh?
Or if I'm waiting for a dungeon queue, like a 10-minute queue, I'll just eat some food.
I was weirdly self-conscious for I think almost 2 years. Now I built a bridge, but I kind of manage and eat what I need to before I start now. But for like 2 years ish, I was weirdly subconscious about even eating on the stream, even though that's a completely normal act. It's hey, yo, you're human. Like fucking. I personally know either away from the mic or shit, even better, like muting it if you're chewing on ice cubes or something like that, But and then all of a sudden just ripped the band-aid one night because I was like, just didn't have time to eat fucking dinner, and I was like, well, when I adhere to start time or I'm already running late or whatever, we'll just do this now.
Don't that gets me started on pet peeves. When people sit there and eat and you hear, oh my god, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth.
Yeah.
Eat with your goddamn mouth closed.
My
Yep.
stepdad's like that, and every time he does it, I just look at him and go, like, Jim, I'm gonna slap the fuck out you.
Oh, good.
I
My
try
kid-
to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
my kid did it the other day. I looked at him and was like, you need to stop that right now. And he was like, stop what? I was like, eat with your goddamn mouth closed, or
Oh,
I'm
yep.
gonna slap the shit out of you because I really don't like it. I wouldn't actually hit my kid, just want to clarify, but
Right.
it's
No, I know what you
something
mean.
I said.
Yeah, if I had to eat it on stream, I would just pull up like memes, like funny videos, and just like chill out for a bit and then finish my food and then yeah.
I
Yeah,
think for
some-
me also, and it's just how I was raised, it's rude to eat in front of other people when you don't have anything to offer them.
Right.
And being that it's digital and I can't really send them anything, for me it's a rude thing to me.
I didn't
Fair
even
enough.
think about.
Yeah, I
that
didn't even think about that either.
See, the
I-
biggest perk of not having a webcam is I don't have to worry about any of this.
Yeah,
You're just
true,
nomming on
totally.
like pizza or ramen.
Bro, I was eating this burrito when I first joined, bro. This big ass burrito. Y'all
Fuck
didn't
yeah.
even know.
See, because I stream for so long, if I don't eat something, I'm gonna get slow and lethargic and just.
Oh, sure.
So I'm like, fuck it. If you're gonna see me eat, there's worse things you could see me do in my life than eat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand the fact that it's nice to offer other people stuff, and then when people hear, I'm always like trying to feed people and stuff like that when they're here. But it's a bit different when you're in an online community. You're not gonna just go, yeah, mate, give us your address. I'll order you a cheeseburger because I'm eating one.
Sure.
Like I'm about to go fuck up a pizza right after this.
I mean, you could fuck up a pizza right now if you really wanted to.
It's barbecue. I don't want to have barbecue all over my mouth.
I mean, fair.
I'm not
I
I'm
mean-
not like a morning or lunch fucking person that eat. Like I don't eat breakfast or lunch most of the time. So like dinner is like my big meal. Like I'll eat
Mhm.
small things for breakfast and lunch, but like dinner is my
Same.
big meal. So like I can't miss that meal. So like if I'm streaming early, that's the only time I'll eat though on stream.
I'm hungry
Yes,
now.
Feel that.
So I'll eat with my missus and my son before he goes to bed, and then I'll start streaming about 7:30 p.m. and I'll go. I only finished it early because I wanted to come and do this, and I wanted to give all my attention to this. But I'd normally still be going now sometimes, and like that's like
Same
8 hours, right? So I don't really have any other time to go and eat anything because I want to be playing games and chilling and talking to my friends and my
Yeah.
community, and I'm like, fuck it.
Absolutely. So I'll we touched on this a little bit earlier, a teensy weensy bit, but I know we're gonna stumble across some other gems here. Stream and or social media peeves or habits. What grinds your gears? And this can be things that, and I'll readily admit, I chew on my beard involuntarily. It's gotten to that point. I don't fucking care. I own it, and I'm not about to stop. I can't control it.
I
And as
mean,
far as
it's your fucking beard.
right, and then as
My
far as
must.
peeves on social media would be overly aggressive artists. I get them in Discord DMs. I get them in fucking all my social
Oh.
media plats. They're tagging me on
Oh,
shit that has
yeah.
nothing to do with it.
Yup.
Just fucking.
Yep.
And
I
the
can
bots.
do my own. Go away.
The
I
follow,
might
the
be
buy
guilty of
follower
sending
bots.
you a few TikTok videos, maybe. I don't know.
No, that's fine.
I
Yeah,
will say
I-
something. Guys,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Oh, no.
That's something that I've had a conversation with other people. The graphics artists. If half of them even came to my stream or any of our streams, we'd all be partner by now because
I ban them
I get
immediately.
all kinds of they're like, and you can pick them out. They're like, hey, I just want to get in contact with you. Or, I seen your stream. First off, that's a lie. Second off, I don't need what you're selling.
Yep.
I like your content.
Bullshit, you've seen my content. If so, you'd know that I have emotes and graphics, you lying fuck.
Like I'll post an outfit picture on Instagram, and I'll get like a bunch of people and be like, "Oh, I love your outfit. Like, partner with us." I'm like, "Fuck off." I think my biggest like pet peeve on social media though is like people who think that they're the shit. I don't know how to describe it, but like Aiden Ross is like a perfect example. Like he annoys the fuck out of me. Just I don't know.
See, I gotta say the big like pet peeve about social media, especially when it comes to like Twitter, is just the pure utter negativity
Mhm.
that just comes spewing
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
everyone's mouth. Like to specifically call out one content creator, specifically JTX. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yep.
But his content is literally about attacking other creators. And it's like, I get it, you're calling out the negatives about him, but why is your content so negative?
Yeah.
Like, why can't content creators come together and build each other up versus tearing them down?
There's a
well,
reason my little group is called the Positivity Gang.
It's Bambi, right? If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Like it's such a simple concept, and it's such a struggle for the bulk of the population out there, specifically on these, anonymity behind a keyboard warriors.
Bro, there's so many fucking snowflakes. Oh my lord, like people don't understand the difference between opinion and fact, and people
Yeah.
are getting butthurt over someone's opinion. It's like, all right, so yeah, you may feel that's wrong by your things. Yeah, I get that. That's great. That's good. But don't try and then come and force your opinions down my throat because I am not doing it to you.
It's just
So
part
like
of
with
cancel culture.
vegans or anything like that, like, I'm just choosing vegans because that's the easy subject for me being a chef, right? Like, don't come and tell me that I've cooked your fucking bean burger wrong when I know the fact I fucking haven't because I read the bastard box it come in, right? Do you know what I mean? It's apples and oranges when it comes to things like that. Like, I'd rather not have someone come and throw their opinion down my throat or try and force their opinion on me or anything like that. I'd rather them come and have a conversation with me and allow me to ask them questions like, so
Sure.
why do you feel this, or why do you feel that, and so I can learn, if not educate myself more on their opinion, rather than anything like that.
Mutually respectful social discourse where, you know what, at the end of the day, your opinion still may be the same as it was when you entered the conversation, but your perspective for somebody else that you likely either know or just meeting has been broadened, and or you might run into somebody again that has that type of opinion. It's like, okay, well, I understand where you're coming from, and I think understanding someone's stance or opinion on a given topic, which can change, I think that can, depending on the topic, can be malleable. Um, but also understanding where they came from, or what, you know, Mav, a good example, you know, well, it's rude to eat in front of people. That's no longer, people are eating and buried in their phone, and everybody's a walking silo out in actual public nowadays. That's just not part of it, but it was at one point in time. So understanding where people came from, you know, either geographically, you know, age-wise or whatever, has as much importance as what their stance might be personally.
Well, that, and also it seems like the art of agreeing to disagree has absolutely died.
It has.
You can no longer be, you can no longer disagree with somebody and still be a friend. You have to immediately be an enemy, and that
No, it's Highlander Man. There
I
can be only
don't know
one.
when that died. I don't know when that happened, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
the
I can disagree with you on something, an idea that you have. It doesn't mean I hate you. It does not mean that I'm immediately against you. It just means that we don't see eye to eye on this topic. Let's go have a beer and move on from it.
I think the only time I've had like a successful like example of that is with my parents. Like I have completely different political viewpoints than what my parents do, and we'll have conversations, and yeah, it can get heated, but at the end of the day, we still love each other and we'll still talk with each other. We're not gonna isolate each other because we've got different views. And it's weird that like that sort of discourse has grown so much to where like if you don't have a certain viewpoint, then that automatically makes you like an enemy. I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, people aren't allowed to have a certain opinion anymore, and facts don't really matter with certain people. So it becomes
Right.
like impossible to have those conversations, or people just get so butthurt over the conversation that they literally won't even listen to you. So it's like
Right.
I totally get with you, yeah. But yeah, for like things that I don't like in social media would be like just negativity and people that are overly opinionated without an open mind. Like you got to have an open mind with any topic or anything that you're doing. And if you have an opinion about something, back it up with proof. And if I come at you with some proof, don't be upset. Like you can have an opinion, but you got to be able to let me have my opinion, and I'm gonna back my opinion up with facts. Like I'm sorry if I come off like kind of an asshole, but facts
No.
speak for facts, you know?
Dude, to your point, if a door is going to be open, that fucker's got to swing both ways. Otherwise, just don't say anything, you know, or keep it to yourself or your partner or, you know, whoever you confide in. Yeah.
I think another one for me, another pet peeve is not only the negativity in especially in Twitch, but to use the frame that's coined, clout chasing is a very big issue, and it seems like every time you turn around, I don't know if it's all of Twitch, but especially streamer Twitch, there is so much drama that I'm like, why do we need this? I mean, look, everybody's against everybody else. A rising tide rises all ships. They're not competition. They are coworkers. Stop being douches to each other.
Yep.
Yeah, but on that end, there are a lot of people that take advantage of givers, if you know what I mean. Like for myself, I'll create graphics for people, I'll create overlays for people, I'll make emojis for people. I'll do whatever. You need a graphic for your Instagram? Sure, dude. I'll pop open my Photoshop and bust out an image for you. I'm not asking for anything in return except for your friendship and support. And when a lot of streamers I've noticed, like they say they want to be a streamer, but they never come around, and you go into their stream, let's say, all the time, and then there's no reciprocation, you know what I mean? And then they have like a falling out, but then come back to Twitch but never come into your chat but expect you to be in their chat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awkward.
Like that is something that really frustrates me as a streamer too. Like I've met so many people that just take and take and take and never, it's a one-sided friendship, really.
See, I'm gonna have to, in a way, disagree respectfully. I feel like where a lot of people go wrong is support for support, follow for follow. I feel like that is so truly detrimental to anyone's growth in the sense that you're expecting something rather than trying to build that personal connection. For all, like, just okay, so I'm gonna use an example like of one of my friends. I follow him on Twitch, but I don't necessarily watch his content because I don't enjoy his content. Like, just because I don't
that's fine,
personally
yeah.
enjoy his content doesn't mean I'm not gonna, like, be there for him and like help him grow. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna watch his content because I just maybe might not like the game he's playing or whatever. But that doesn't mean I don't support him as his
That's
streamer.
not really what it's about. Okay, let me elaborate the situation without giving a name out. So you're friends with someone for 2 straight years. You become, I would say, best online buds. Okay, let's say that. You talk literally 8 hours a day before and off stream, all day, every day. And this person is a streamer and wants to become part of something, so they ask you to be part and helping build them. You help build them. You help build graphics for them. You do all this stuff, but they literally won't help you with your dream. And like pretty much the moment another opportunity to clout chase another bigger streamer than myself appears, the person disappears and literally forgets about me. So I mean, I guess it's a little bit more in depth than just like support for support. Like that's like I know what you're getting at. Follow for follow and support for support is not like.
I guess it's kind of like the yin yang, two sides of the same coin, kind of like take there.
Yeah, no, you were 1,000% valid though. Like follow for follow, support for support doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
You have
I
to be.
agree.
If you have boring content, you're a boring person. You're not a fun person to be around. Then yeah, like people are gonna want to watch you regardless of what you're putting out.
Hence the reason why I go back and look at my videos to try to always make sure it's to be entertaining and stuff.
Yes.
Well, it's also just because you don't find yourself entertaining doesn't necessarily. Well, I mean, you should always find yourself entertaining. If you're not making content that you're not personally gonna like, you shouldn't make that content. But what one person finds entertaining, someone else might not. Just because I don't find my buddy's content, appeals to me, appeals to whoever wants to watch him, whoever wants to vibe with him. That's awesome. That's my buddy. Cool. I'm happy for him. Do you, boo? Shine, diamond, shine.
No, I will kind of bridge between both sides of that coin and say, because yeah, there's certain people that I still support, but I may not necessarily vibe with their content. I network and I'm good friends with, good streaming friends, at least on that level, with people that are they're like Christian streamers. I'm an agnostic, and I'm sorry, I'm not going down that spiritual discussion route. I'm sorry, as far as like, we don't mesh, so I don't necessarily watch. I might have him tabbed up, but I don't watch them. I just don't get to YouTube very often, but commenting, following, sharing videos, liking, watching at least 50% of their recorded clips and stuff. There's 1,001 ways to support somebody if you're. I guess that can be argued, but if you are what I would say doing it right, which is using more than just a solitary platform, and that does include social medias too. But yeah, Pure. Not to digress from yours. That specific hypothetical situation is dog shit, and that sucks.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Owen. That's a lot of people get hung up on that. Well, you've never been to a stream, and it's nice. If I come into your stream, and I'm there, or like the real said, I've done a lot for you. It would be nice, it makes you feel appreciated when they put a little time in you. But there is other ways of supporting. I mean, I made that Twitch post or that Twitter post myself that I have, there are people that I have put a lot of time into, both financially and time-wise, and, you get lip service from them at best. You feel, as humans, we all love to feel appreciated.
Sure.
And you feel underappreciated when you feel you're going above and beyond. And yes, nobody owes you anything. I understand that. But it's nice to feel appreciated every now and then. Even if it's,
Absolutely.
hey man, I haven't been in your stream, but I'm 100% liking everything I can when I see outside of stream.
Yeah.
100%.
See, like, I agree. Like, I got a buddy, right? I basically call him my tuner because he builds all my cars for me in Forza right now because I can't tune for wheel right now. He didn't ask for anything in return. He just wanted to help me. So I went to his channel and dropped him some subs just because he wanted to help me. And I know a few subs is not going to cost me a lot, and it may help grow his platform and get some people that have not been to his
Sure.
chat back into his chat. And it also puts a little bit of cash in his pocket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It swings and roundabouts. You've got to give. You got to give to get. Do you know what I mean? It's not all about receiving.
Right.
No, it shouldn't be. And that's so that not to circle back to something we've already discussed previously, but it's very seldom see pop up
Yeah.
into some of my feeds. I'll see these people that full dove into Kick, not like testing the waters here and there, like full dove, abandoned their Twitch community entirely, or at least tried to bring them along as much they could to a brand new platform. And these are the same people that were posting a month ago, like, I don't do this primarily for the money. Well, what? Your first post is that I'm doing this because the sub split. It's like, we pick a side.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of ties into my pet peeve. Like, it's going to a different streaming platform. It's like, well, kind of not. It's like, I did a TikTok video ages ago with this blonde chick. She put out there, she was sat saying, if you can't sat and pay for the $3.99
Oh, I
sub,
even know that
Yeah.
I don't want you in my
Ugh.
chat.
I've seen that one.
So
Yeah.
I duetted it, was like, fuck this bimbo bitch. I don't want your fucking money. Come and talk to me in my chat. Come and chill with me. Fuck this stupid cunt off. This silly little rat. You shouldn't be talking to people like that because it's fucking disgusting, right? And then you go and sit on TikTok, bro, and you see people like put themselves in backgrounds with no lights and sat there like, oh, please, for my kids, begging, begging. I'm like, bro, put some energy in. Go and get a fucking game or something, bro. Like, do something. Don't just sit there going, oh, please give, please give, please give. Like, people work hard for their money. Why should they sit there and give it to you?
Right.
I hate
fair.
those people.
Yeah.
That's my pet peeve right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I'm not. That is not one. That's one of my things. Like, I'm very hard pressed to ever mention subs in stream because I feel like I'm begging for money, and I know it's part of the whole thing. You're supposed to be like, hey, if you like the content, sub or whatever. I just feel dirty saying it.
No, that's
Oh
fair.
yeah, I don't.
Well, I agree,
I don't
and
do
that's
that.
why I put like challenges and stuff on the bottom. So it's kind of more of an like, you want to see me eat this fucking 3 million Scoville unit fucking hot sauce, then you could pay and watch, and then
Yeah.
like sort of thing.
I
Like,
want the 8-hour later stream.
I want to give you, something for your money. I don't want you to just come to my chat and just go, oh, here, have some subs, like, because I'm sat here watching. Like, I've got like this jelly bean thing right here. I've got the Bean Boozle one. They're on their 6th generation now, and they've added a new one called liver and onions and old bandage.
Yeah.
I have that one. No, I do have that one.
Well, in the sense of like you using Twitch or whatever streaming platform as your full time job, your full time career, you kind of have to give your
Yeah.
viewers incentive to want a sub, whether that's like, okay, let's do, 5 subs and I'll eat that 30,000 Scoville chip or, whatever it may be. You have to give that incentive. It's like on one side, it's like, yeah, you're asking for subs. But on the other hand, if you're doing it for the money, you like not necessarily for the money, but if you like you're trying to increase that sub revenue, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be creative with it.
Like
Exactly.
one of the ideas that I want to do is like when I reach a certain amount of subs, I want to do a stream where I have like just all the hair on my head just grow on the sides, but just leave the top bald, and just do like a live stream with that style of haircut, and then towards the end of the stream, I'll just shave it off.
Like a Dr. Phil cosplay.
Yeah, like a Dr. Phil. That would be
Nice.
freaking epic.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Like that one mad lad who did the bum fights, who went on and appeared on his show.
Yeah, dressed just like him.
Just
Haircut
like
and
him.
everything. Yeah.
That would be
I was-
epic. Have like
I
the
was thinking
background
the
He didn't
too.
want to talk to him. He kicked him off within like the first 15 seconds.
He just looked at him and then was like, "Boot, nope."
Yeah, he was like, I'm not gonna talk to you. Fuck out of here.
Dr. Phil does a League of Legends stream.
Oh, that's nice.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a great title. You'll have to
you
get the
talk-
suit and everything.
Yeah.
Was
Use a
talking about
Sharpie
that-
to make the
that-
mustache bushy.
Talking about that Bean Boozle that had liver and onions and old band-aids. Both of those are horrible flavors.
Yo,
Yeah,
Sounds
gonna
Yeah, I
disgusting.
have the
bro.
same one. It's
I believe it.
disgusting.
I haven't even opened them yet.
I don't think I've had a good one out of that pack. Like seriously.
I was a bit evil, and I gave me and my
Still
parents were like
stale.
snacking on jelly beans, and so I mixed a little bit of the Bean Boozled in like the small cup with some regular jelly beans. And when they bit into one of the Bean Boozles, it was the funniest reaction I've ever seen. They were like gagging, and they're like, "What the fuck is this flavor?" I'm like,
That's
probably
funny.
just
If that's a fresh
boogers.
cut.
I got the Harry Potter ones.
Those
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had those back whenever the first movie, like whenever like the first Harry Potter craze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I got them back then. Yeah.
When they weren't as expensive now. Holy shit, they're
real.
expensive.
Yeah, I got 5 of them for $20.
Yeah, you're getting one packet for £20 here, bro. They're stupidly priced.
Wait, you say one packet for $20?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus.
God damn.
Damn.
This is why I like the dollar store. You can just go and buy candy for $1 at a piece.
For real though.
For real.
Yeah, but then we go back to that whole U.S. food standard things where, you know, the USDA has like an actual allowance of, I think, 18% of filler that's allowed to be
Yep.
acceptable in ground meats. So
I-
that could
I
include things
think-
like sawdust and bug parts.
Yeah, I think we don't have that bullshit, but
Yeah,
I
thank God my
couldn't
wife's a
comment.
butcher. Fuck.
Yeah,
yeah, bro, like the meat you get
Spoiled.
must be incredible.
Yeah, bro.
I-
we just go buy
I-
fucking chunks of animal, and literally she cuts it all up, and we have big steak packs in our fridge and freezer. And oh, it's
That-
great.
Oh yeah.
If you know how to
All
butcher
grass-fed.
half a pig or half a sheep or half a cow, honestly, that is the best way to do it if you have a big family.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Or if you know how to hunt, you can just shoot a deer, and that meat will last you for
Hell yeah.
months.
Yeah, or
And
moose.
it's super healthy.
Oh yeah, venison
Yeah,
is so
moose
good.
jerky is fucking great, man.
Yeah, venison's so good.
Love
I-
it.
Gotta be
Love some
medium rare venison though.
Yeah, we had moose steaks.
I mean,
when
medium
I was
rare
a
all
kid.
meat, pretty much, right?
Yes.
Nah, not chicken.
Unless it's
Not-
yeah, well,
Well,
yeah, not chicken. Okay, all red meat. We'll say, we'll say red meat. My bad.
I just want my raw chicken. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God.
Mid-rare chicken.
Well, I talking with friends in the UK, you know, we talked about the difference between you guys got good cheese, you guys got good chocolate. Our American chocolate is horrible. I hate it. I hate Hershey's.
Yeah.
It tastes like vomit.
Yeah.
Our
And
Cadbury's
also,
and
they're allowed to
Cadbury's
have
is
X amount of parts of bug parts in it, and it's still passable. So you don't know what the hell you're eating when you get a Hershey bar. Could be a nut. Could be half of a roach. Who knows?
Could be a
It
nut or it
could
could be
be-
a nut.
It could be bug nut.
That's true. Yeah, could be nut or it could be nut. That's correct.
Fucking hell.
That's the bitter taste in the dark chocolate, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the nut really gives it the
Hey,
bitter
be quiet.
taste.
That's a secret, okay?
American
Oh,
secret
shit.
recipe.
It's better than
It's
a protein
trade
shake.
secret, bro.
All right. I would stumble into the next one here. So, again, imbibing not necessarily required, and if it's just not your thing, it's not your thing. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna have probably an answer here. But favorite herb movies
How high?
is a great one.
Pineapple
Dazed and Confused.
Express.
Pineapple
Oh,
Express, yeah.
What's that one with Dave Chappelle? You know what I'm talking about?
Half-baked.
Half-baked.
is
Yeah.
great,
That
dude.
makes a good one.
Half
Yeah,
baked.
How
yeah,
do you might get the munchies?
Your Highness. You guys
I
ever
just
seen
watched that recently. Yes.
Half baked probably is my favorite, followed by being an old school guy. Pretty much anything Cheech and Chong.
Fuck yeah. The
Hell
first
yeah,
like
dude.
3 movies of Cheech and Chong. Then it got weird.
Yeah.
I
Like the
would
medieval
really get
ones,
into
like
Cheech
but
and
it got
Chong.
weird, bro.
I don't know if this one counts or not, but I kind of feel like Dude, Where's My Car counts as a.
It's a
That's
great
a
one.
good
I
one.
like it.
Is
I
it?
like
Yeah,
it.
that was on my
that
list.
movie.
They are pretty much stoners
Dazed and
without being
confused?
stoners.
Yeah.
Grandma's
There's
Boy is a
stoners
good
without
one if we're going
actually
like a little bit
smoking.
off.
Has
That's
anyone
not off
seen
at all.
Evil Bong?
Yes,
No.
Evil Bong, dude. Yes.
I think I've seen a trailer, but I never watched it.
Evil
I've seen
Bong and
like
Evil
a good
Bong
couple
2.
of them. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them, bro.
I like
What?
Maverickmutt.
I only knew there was a 2.
Yeah, there's a good couple of them for sure.
That's funny.
Mac
I
and
mean,
Devin
I-
goes to high school is good.
I
That's
like
true.
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle as well.
Yeah,
Both the Harold and Kumar.
But
I
are
for
feel like we
me-
could just list all of the
Oh,
weed
fucking
movies.
Jay and Silent Bob,
Mhm.
man. Mallrats,
yeah.
Clerks, goddamn, all those movies.
Did
Hell
you
yeah.
know that movie's called something different for me?
Shut
It's
up.
called-
What
it's
movie?
It's called Harold and Kumar Got the Munchies.
Shut the fuck. What?
Really?
You ordered it off of Wish. Get
Interesting.
out of here.
That is.
I-
You
no, I
ordered it
promise
off
you.
Wish.
Fucking
That
Google
is
it right
great.
now.
I
I had this
want a
argument.
copy.
I had this argument with someone. I was like, nah, it's a different movie. There's like, nah, it's the same movie. I was like, nah, it's a different movie. And honestly, it's the same movie. Google it.
Makes sense. I mean, you,
will
guys
look-
don't
you'll
have a
look
White
at what-
Castle. in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
UK.
exactly.
Yeah, you Google it and that's what comes out. Yeah.
That's great.
I know this is a little bit turd. It's not exactly a weed movie. It's not even a weed movie. But have any of you seen Cocaine Bear yet?
Yes.
Yes.
It's amazing. We watched
Yes,
that.
Yeah, we
so
watched
good,
part
so
of it.
funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that it was based on a true story. 'cause
Yeah.
That just proved
Yeah.
everybody in the 80s was doing coke
Yep.
and having a crazy ass
I
weekend.
mean, you know what the real story is, though, right? The bear found the cocaine, it ate a couple bricks, and it immediately died, pretty much.
yeah, that's the real story.
But it
and
was hot as fuck.
I
It was
mean,
high as fuck.
I mean, if fucking Winnie the Pooh found a couple of bricks of cocaine and ate them in one sitting, yeah, of course he's gonna fucking die. Jesus Christ.
Winnie the Pooh definitely has diabetes, though. All that honey that he's eating.
So,
For
all right.
sure.
Cocaine
Well,
Bear
maybe that's why he's got to eat it, because he doesn't
Yeah.
make insulin.
What was the true story? The bear really did have like one and a half kilos
It
of
was like
cocaine in him.
it was like a
Jesus.
brick and a half, yeah, and it pranced around for a minute and then pretty much immediately died.
So I was prompted to this earlier, and what's more terrifying than Cocaine Bear is if they made a movie about Cocaine Clifford, the giant red dog.
Oh God.
Oh,
I would watch
sake.
that. I would watch that.
Oh my god.
Childhood
I would
Doomed.
totally watch that.
We would be
childhood
doomed.
upgrade.
That's going to
Nah,
take place in
no,
either
no.
Florida or Ohio.
Could you imagine Clifford on
Let's do
acid?
Florida.
And I'm
Let's do
from
Florida.
Ohio,
Let's do
so
Florida.
it's totally true.
Fuck
Ohio's
cocaine,
too
imagine
close to me.
Florida.
Fuck
Let's do
Ohio,
Florida.
honestly.
Let's do Clifford on hallucinogenics.
Oh god.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I like
that's
to
gonna
meet
be
Clifford.
a trip. Yeah, I'm gonna be Clifford a fucking hog. Glad I don't meet him.
Why not? You know,
Ooh,
Big Bird's been
Big
on
Brother
hallucinogenics for
Fluffy.
years. He's the only one that can see snuffleupagus.
Mhm. That's a kaiju movie I would watch.
Yes.
Clifford kaiju movie. I'm fucking
Yep.
dead.
On cocaine.
A
Clifford
Clifford
versus
kaiju
Godzilla.
on cocaine movie.
Clifford versus Godzilla.
Clifford versus Godzilla versus Kong versus because we know how this goes. I
Versus
mean,
Cocaine
eventually
Bear.
Every franchise has to, versus Power Rangers Megazord,
Voltron,
versus
oh,
Voltron.
the U.S. military.
someone
not
needs to
paying
edit
All the
Yeah.
Power Rangers are
$70
like
for
on
it.
heroin or some shit.
versus the Avengers.
I mean, that
Yeah.
kind of has me wondering: is
Autobots.
Clifford considered a kaiju?
Yes.
That's kind of
Well, kaiju just means monster, right? So I guess
Strange
he's not
monster.
A monster. He's
no,
just a
I mean,
giant
I guess that's true. yeah.
dog.
Yeah. I actually had this
That's true,
conversation
that's
with a
true.
bunch of people in my squadron, and we're like, I told them that I told them that Clifford was a kaiju, and they're like, "No, he's not. He's just a big red dog." I'm like, "Exactly. It's a strange monster. It's a big
How did
fucking
you
red
have
dog."
the same conversation?
I have no idea.
He's not even
Are
smoking.
you,
He's
sure
got a
you
stoner
didn't
brain. You
sneak
know what I
edibles?
mean?
Are you sure you didn't eat edibles?
No, that's the Air Force answer. No, for clarification, OSI, I did not smoke weed.
Is it that
Gosh,
bad?
guys
You're
bro,
watching
this
this?
is-
Oh, they watch this?
No,
No.
But in case,
Just in case, if
Yeah,
OSI
it's
ends
just
up
in
like,
case,
hey,
yeah.
I did not smoke weed.
Yeah, just gotta cover all the bases.
Yeah.
I did not have sex with that woman.
I did not have
You
sex
don't
with
know
that
which
woman.
I did not
government
have sex
agency
with him.
fucking listening
That's
in.
what I was going to say, Senator. I don't know what you're talking about. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I just had sex with Jimmy's mom.
Yeah. So, all right. So then this very much so segs us into the next question here, which is the final one. And there may be quite a bit of conversation around this. And this was one that I had. So I had previously the last question I was going to pose, and it was based off of a conversation with somebody else as well. It's like, think about a situation where, somebody that may have been chemically influenced, yourself or witnessed, did something crazy. And I had Sass proofread it, and she's like, this one just doesn't sit right. And the thought is because we're very much all, whether we imbibe or not, um, you know, chemical libertarian or forward thinking, or either outright just specifically maybe weed should be legalized because it should be classified the same as tobacco and alcohol. We're all kind of forward, and I know I definitely advocate to that. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't imbibe, that's fine. Just have a understanding and respect that I do, and it's okay. It's one of those, again, like, agree to disagree, like. And talking, kind of bringing that aspects to I feel like it's kind of a step backwards instead of a step forward. So instead of that, and this kind of led into it and brought some really good points
I
with
have something to
Sass.
say on that though.
But the other thing that we're going to explore is, do we think we as a whole, global, are we moving away or furthering stigmas around substances? And what kind of prompted this is that over here in the U.S., this next generation, so like my kids and even up through people in their 20s, you don't really see a lot of people either smoking cigarettes or drinking, or really minimal interest in like weed and stuff like that. Whereas growing up for me, like, it was a nightly thing for my whole family for generations. So it was like deeply ingrained, at least it was. And it seems like so I don't know, are we heading more towards stigmas or kind of away from them at this point?
I think for marijuana, I think we're moving away from the stigma of like, oh, it's a bad drug. I think a lot of the younger generation are starting to be more accepting of it, and I do foresee the federal government passing or legalizing weed. Not only because it would bring so much tax revenue for states, but there's so many good applicable things that you could do with it. For instance, there's a streamer named Kaide. She won like the streamer award for best Valorant streamer. She was recently diagnosed with leukemia, and so she's going through like a bunch of chemotherapy. And she said that one of the ways that she's combating like the loss of appetite is by smoking weed, and it helps with her appetite, so she's not losing a bunch of weight. So there's definitely a lot of like medical um, benefits to smoking weed, and I really hope that soon the military will see that as well, and that they'll give like military members like medical waivers so the way they can use marijuana.
That's actually one of the things of like the top 16 of why it's legal. It's rec here anyway at this state, but why initially I was medical was, out of the top 16 things that it's prescribed for most commonly, and that list has since expanded. I was already at like the first 8 or something, and that's one of the things that it helped me manage was now granted this was during my dark World of Warcraft addiction years, but I would go a whole day without eating stuff if I didn't have weed. Just didn't really be bothered with it. And then as soon as I started smoking, it's like every couple of hours, like, well, I at least need a snack.
Yeah.
It's something, and that's definitely one of the direct benefits. Or seizures and shit. People that experience seizures, that's huge, especially in kids.
Yeah, so when marijuana was originally legalized, it was due to hemp being a more sustainable source of paper than lumber. And they were the original, like the lumber companies were the original reason why it was legalized. And yes, marijuana has so many medical applications, for the near future, the federal government's not going to federally like legalize it due to that exact reason. It, lumber companies and all the other companies that are against it are going to pay to keep it illegal.
Yeah, it's a
And
lobbying.
then even with the progressiveness of America, like in terms of medicinal recreational marijuana, you have countries like China, which will straight execute you for having like a gram.
Or Phoenix, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So
Like
it kinda-
Singapore, they'll flog you for having weed.
Yes.
So I
Yeah,
feel like
caning.
it's more like national decision than it is
Yeah.
like a worldwide like you know.
For sure,
Yeah.
man. Being from Canada, like it's been pretty much decriminalized for the longest time, and it's like totally legal. I can go to a website and order it, and they'll deliver it to me. I can walk into a store and buy it. They never check my ID even. Like we have mushroom stores, literally. Like I can go on the internet and order mushrooms, and I can walk into a storefront and buy mushrooms. Like it's not even an issue here. Like we're so free about drugs that we kind of swing the other way though, because we kind of like we have injection sites. I don't know if you guys really have that, but like
They exist, yeah.
it's not the answer in my opinion. But like we swing the other way and we're too lenient with it. So I mean, I think we are swaying away from weed, but I think rightfully so. We're still being weary about the harder drugs, cocaine, crack, that kind of shit, which is good, right?
I'd like to disagree about the needle, the injection place, because if it was one of my loved ones that was addicted to heroin and crack, I'd like to know they're going to a place to get a clean needle, if they even have to use that shit in the first place. So I'd rather them go there to get the clean needle and be in a safe, sterile place if they're gonna have to do that.
I mean, opioids and making a decision to do drugs is different. If you came into the habit under an accident or something that happened where you were on opioids, and like my brother died from an addiction. So like, I have a little bit like of a strong opinion on this because I grew up in like literally. I know it's hard to hear, but like in Canada, it's a very bad neighborhood. People getting stabbed every day. People get shot every day, like all the time in my neighborhood. Like it was pretty normal, and like drug problems were really bad and rampant in our city, and my kids seen people die in our front street because we live close to a needle exchange, right? So like it's a mental health crisis at best, but it shouldn't be a public's issue. Here in Canada, we got rid of most of our mental asylums. We still have psych wards, but we have no mental hospitals, right? Like there's nowhere for these. And I feel like that would be kind of the right place. It's for the people that can't control their habit that wrongfully got into it. And I mean, I don't think that the rest of the public, my kids included, should suffer because people made bad decisions in life. I know that sounds cold-hearted, especially from someone who had a brother go through it, but I mean,
I completely understand that.
If we want to fight the drugs, we have to make it so that people see that it's not safe to do, because it's not safe to do, man. I guarantee you cocaine use since the 70s and 80s has actually gone down because since the rise of fentanyl, nobody wants to do it anymore. So if you make it more accessible and easier and like there's no repercussions for making a bad choice to do that drug, then more people are going to do it and you're going to have a bigger crisis. So like it's a double-edged sword and you have to kind of like pick your battles. But I personally, I don't think they work. But I mean,
I don't think they should be in public areas. I think they should be out of the way.
A mental hospital, 10,000%.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like there should be.
I mean, maybe not that name, but
there should be some place where the peoples with these mental problems and the addictions can go, and if they have to use that drug, they can go and it's safe.
And are forced to go to those places because, like I said, like when it's out in the public, more people see it more, and our kids see it, and they grow up to think it's normal. Like it's
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with that because it's not normal, and addiction is a disease. As much as people don't want to admit it, addiction is a disease.
Yeah,
and it's hard, and like it's gonna wrap bounds with how I feel with alcohol. Like I stopped drinking 4 years ago. Nearly 5 years ago, because of my health and the medication that I take, that I didn't drink. But I'm watching my friends slowly poison themselves with alcohol, and I'd really like to see marijuana and alcohol swap places. I'd like to see alcohol become more restricted than it is. I don't think we should be seeing our 18-year-olds in my country, 21-year-olds in your country, going out spending all their hard-earned cash, getting to a state where they can't walk home and end up hurting themselves, or girls ended up getting raped. Sorry, so I know some people don't like that word, but there's weirdos out there that are gonna put shit in your drinks. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
when you're drinking, you're at your most vulnerable state, and that's why I don't like it.
And that's one thing that I struggle with too, especially with alcohol use in the military, is that there's so many cases in the military where these young kids are like fresh out of high school, they just graduated basic, they just graduated tech school, and they're already out like drinking and getting in trouble, and before you know it, they're already getting kicked out of the military, and it's
And you
really
pick them up as
unfortunate.
a gun as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's also an issue on the military's part. It's like, how can you expect, someone fresh out of high school at 18 years old to go give their life for the military and
Hmm.
not be allowed to drink a fucking beer?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's such an asinine point of view. Like, you're you're taking someone who hasn't lived their life, quote unquote, and expecting them to not live their life. Like, you
Right.
tell a child not to do something, it's going to promote them to go do that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that. I get that, and that's why I feel that the marijuana and alcohol should swap places. I'm not saying it should be illegal. I'm saying it should just be more restrictive.
Oh,
Maybe
100%.
Yeah.
Hmm.
maybe increase the age to 25 or 26 or more, so that they've had the time to mature and develop. Because some kids don't start mature until late, and you need that time to mature to be able to know where you stand with alcohol, because you're just going to hit a very slippery slope. And I've seen it destroy people's lives, where all they can think about is where they're going to get the next beer from, and they've got to go and get a beer to be able to do. I used to work in a kitchen with a guy, right? He was trying to quit drinking. He was drinking every night after shift.
Kitchens are the worst for this too.
Yeah, yeah, he could not work without a beer. He was rattling in the kitchen. He said, "I need to go for a cigarette." He went downstairs, had a bottle of cider, downed it, right? Come back upstairs. I could smell it on his breath. I'm head chef at the time. I looked at him and said, "I don't care what you've got to do to be able to keep your head in the fucking game right now, but whatever you did, do it. Because you're fucking useless to me when you don't have whatever's in your system.
Yeah.
Because you can't stand there at a grill and cook me 3 medium rare steaks and give me them well done. Because you're costing me money, costing the company money, and you're making me look like a fucking idiot."
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, like here in Canada, it's 19 is the age for drinking, and I feel like 19 actually is a great age to drink. I mean, at that time, you're getting out of high school, you're in that party state already. You're going to be doing it in houses, you're going to be doing it wherever. So you might as well have it in an area where it's somewhat controlled. And beyond that, like I mean, most of my memories from 19 to 23 were partying, hanging out, making a lot of bad choices, but making a lot of good choices and finding out who I was, right? But I wouldn't change that for the world. I would never want to take that away from someone, because at the age of 23, I start having kids. I never get the opportunity to really break out of my shell and experience those things. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think 19 is a perfectly fine age, and it does suck that there is an addiction crisis. But again, I think that is something that is a mental health problem, and not really like a. We shouldn't be taking freedoms from people to accomplish that.
And I feel like that's where kind of America fails in that instance, is that instead of uh, funding for like mental health programs and like facilities, it's all about like institutionalizing people and like just throwing them in prison and just not really helping the case.
See here, there's not a lot of funding for mental health, but there's like a shout for even more funding for rehab. There's a
Mhm.
rehab center just behind my house over here. So like I see it firsthand. I see the rattling people walking around my street
Yeah.
firsthand. Do you know what I mean? But at least they're there trying to better their life and try and help their disease, their addiction. It takes a lot to put your hands up and say, "Yeah, I have a problem. I need help."
I
Like,
feel like there's a
so
fine line calling it a disease, though. Like, addiction at its core is a choice. You choose whether or not you want to remain in that addiction or whether or not you want to get better. You chose to do the drug initially and to keep doing the drug. It all boils down to a choice. Yes, it can be considered a disease, needs to be treated as such, but at its core, it is nothing but a choice.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree.
I
But sometimes it's not because of accidental like painkillers and shit.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I mean though. That's different. That's
That's
a
that's an entirely different unfortunate circumstance that like
That's
America.
big pharma.
That's
big
that's
it's
big
also
pharma.
like the outlier in
I'm
the
talking
situation
about like
too,
I'm
right?
talking about like the fentanyl crisis, the heroin crisis, the crocodile crisis, any other of these. Yeah, crocodile was like a substitute to heroin for a while. That would literally like rot your skin. Yeah,
It's big in Russia.
I'm just saying at the
Gross.
end of the day, it is nothing but a choice, and they will choose. Quit bouncing in front of me. You'll either choose to continue to go down that path or get off that path.
I agree. I agree to a point of addiction is a choice, but there is a certain point when the addiction becomes
A disease that
yeah, it takes over. I have known people that they constantly, man, I'm kicking this habit, but they can't because the habit is now gotten in control. My take on it is, I think we are, as a society in America, we're moving away from the marijuana. We're realizing it's not as bad, especially as more and more medicinal purposes come out. Um, and I am there again. I'm kind of like on the same with the whole alcohol thing. Alcohol and tobacco are far more addictive and have killed way more people in the U.S. than marijuana ever will or ever can. And these are not class one substances, and they're very unregulated. They're regulated, but they're not as regulated as hard as marijuana. And you know, very rarely do you read an article of someone who, you know, took a massive bong rip, got in a car, went for a ride, and killed a family of 5.
Not unless, and this is some of the people that like do like headline surfing. Not unless we're talking crossfaded stuff. And I am a nightly drinker and smoker. And yes, on like a Friday or Saturday, it might be a little heavier. But that's when you see some of these sneaky posts that are just like marijuana causes accident. If you do stumble across that, it's usually like, well, never mind, they blew like a .23 as well. Like okay, yeah, they were smoking. That's probably what kept them on the road for as long as they did to begin with. But
Yeah, media demonizes it for sure.
yes.
Yeah, I have a standing thing that I believe 0% of any headline I read without doing research.
No.
You know,
Yep.
As someone my dad used to listen to Rush Limbaugh, and I know a lot of people never cared about Rush. Listening to him and another guy, Neil Bortz. Neil Bortz used to say, "Don't believe anything I said. Go look for it yourself." And I was like, dude, I can
That's awesome.
respect that.
Absolutely.
I'd like to openly put my hands up and say I don't believe anybody's ever overdosed on marijuana because I try it every fucking night.
It has actually
all of us
been
do.
proven that you cannot overdose on marijuana itself. However, when you process it and you make it into edibles, wax,
Yeah.
anything like that, when you
Drinks.
process it, when you increase its potency, then you can overdose.
Yeah.
It's not likely. You'll most likely pass out before you ever do overdose, or you'll eat everything in your fucking fridge.
Well,
All violent,
supposedly,
that's
if you were somehow able to smoke like 5,000 pounds in less than like 5 minutes, that would kill you. But I mean, it's not very plausible.
You die smoke inhalation first.
It's,
Oh,
I was
for
gonna say that's
sure,
5 minutes
for
of not
sure.
breathing. So
Carbon dioxide poisoning.
Cuba Gooding Jr. couldn't even hold his breath that long.
Hell no.
I mean, you can green out, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, once it gets moved from Schedule One, then there will be a lot more studies that can happen, and I think then the general public will be able to see, the efficacy of it treating diseases, and just even for its just general everyday use. If you just use a little bit here and there, everyone has treating depression, things like that. But there's, I mean, obviously, like believe Voodoo was brought it up. It can treat more serious diseases as well, and who knows? There might be more ways. Once there can be more studies, we might be able to find that. Oh, well, we actually, if we do this, for this disease, it could actually work. We might even be able to study more about the genetics of it. about, all the gene editing things that are happening now, rise of AI and all these things that are happening. Who knows, So I think it's just a lot of it's marketing and it's just generational. I think we're just seeing the start of the change.
I also think a lot of it's like tax based as well because they can't put a tax on it and they want to be able to make an income from it, right? And how can you tax a plant? Let's be honest. How can you tax someone from growing a plant? What are you going to make them do? Pay a licensing fee? Fucking do it. Hurry up. Let me pay my licensing fee so I can grow my own fucking weed. So I know it's fucking good, man. I'm sick of going to the local guy and giving him some money and he gives me a bag of fucking bullshit. And I'm like, well, why did I waste my fucking money? This ain't going to help me in my pain.
Just like
I
having
mean,
homegrown tomatoes for you guys. Jesus,
They
it's
do
crazy.
they do tax the weed here
They
at
tax it here,
dispensaries and
too.
shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we've been
That's the
taxing
only reason they're
tobacco for
legalized because
years.
they're taxed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
literally the only reason why it's legal, because the government can make a dollar off of that shit.
That's
You
why
make a
it's
good
not
dollar,
legal.
too.
They can't. They won't. They can't put a tax on it here. They don't know how.
Yeah, so for example, if I was to order, let's say, $50 worth of wax at a dispensary to have it delivered, not only were you getting taxed around roughly like $10, but you also have to pay the delivery fee for the company.
And you might even have to tip the delivery guy too.
Exactly.
See, like
Convenience fees.
when you go to a grocery store, you look at the price and you're like, that's how much that price gets. But when you get to the till, you pay your 20% on top or whatever your VAT is, right? See, when I go to the store and I look at the price, my VAT is already in that price, so I don't need to worry about there going to be an extra $200 on my bill when I get to the cashier. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So like
That's
everything's
fair.
already included. Like all our taxes already included. Like we pay a national insurance, which is a tax, but that gives me free healthcare. If I have an emergency dentist, I can ring up a 111, which is a national free phone number that we have, and they'll put me in for a dentist appointment tomorrow morning, and I'll have my tooth pulled out for free.
That shit sounds convenient as hell.
Yeah.
Like,
Canada is pretty much the same.
Yeah,
too.
we're pretty much the
Yeah,
same.
I
Yeah.
knew that.
It's like the
Man,
military.
I've been saying we got to get up to
The
Canada, man.
Mhm.
You
That's
literally
cool.
can't be refused. If you walk in a hospital, they can't refuse you, and you never walk out with a bill.
Yeah, the
Yep.
U.S. is again, it's a money game. Our healthcare is all about money.
Yep.
That's why we don't have. But like the real said, I have listened to podcasts and done studies, read studies and stuff like that about the huge benefits of microdosing shrooms. There's a lot of huge benefits in that,
Especially for
Is
seizures.
for seizures and stuff. Is our government ever going to allow shrooms? Forget
Well,
about it.
PTSD, depression.
Colorado legalized it.
Really, Colorado?
Yeah, Colorado legalized it. And I mean, I
Colorado
guess
does seem to be ahead of the
Oregon-
curve on things.
Oregon
Colorado was
probably
mini
did
Amsterdam.
too
Yeah,
because
they usually lead it.
decriminalized everything, but I don't know about that. But Colorado for sure, yeah, they were one of the first to legalize weed. They're the first to legalize shrooms. You can buy them in the same place, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, like I watched a Canadian content creator. He's called Pigeons420, and I watched him on YouTube because on YouTube he taught people how he did his grows for his medical condition and stuff. And I learned like so much from his shit. So like I could basically do everything that he did and probably replicate what he's done. But he was saying that when they first released microdosing in Canada, that he was going to try it, and he tried it, and he said it did wonders for his mental health. It helped him sleep, helped him not be down in the dumps. It changed his whole like brain chemical pattern, and he's enjoying life, living life, loving it, streaming, doing his thing. So if you have to microdose using a little bit of psychedelics to fix the chemical pattern in your brain, I don't see why there's a problem with it, to be honest.
Right.
Oh, well.
What I do
It
like
grows
about
I
naturally
agree.
from the ground, just like cannabis.
what I
Big
do like
pharma.
about the military is that I don't know what drug Native Americans use, but it's what is it? Yeah, peyote. Um, the military will give like people who are Native Americans a waiver so that way they can go on like their pilgrimage and like do peyote. So that kind of gives me a little bit of hope that like the military will start being a little bit more lenient about like cannabis use when if the federal government ever decides to legalize it, that they'll eventually give people who are like struggling with like depression or like whatever the case may be, that they'll get a medical waiver to be able to use cannabis.
See, I think, and again, we all know America runs on money.
Yep.
And that's the reason why microdosing and marijuana, even though they have given it the medical marijuana, there's still stipulations. Like here in the state of Georgia, you can have medical marijuana, but it has to be low level THC oil only. But the microdosing, especially the microdosing, because of all the benefits it does and it straightens out the brain, big pharma, it would lose billions on that, and they'll be like, nope, not happening.
It's parallels
I
with
don't
U.S.
think they
fossil
would.
fuel dependency too. You know, you
Yep.
can't just flip the switch because we've got too many dogs in the fight. It would just cause, potentially cause too much upheaval in the economy. At least that's what they want us to say.
I generally
tend to believe
don't think it would. I think that the big pharma would be like, right, we can capitalize here if we grow these shrooms. So I think they'd be into growing shrooms at a
Mhm.
cheaper cost to get out to sell out everybody else. So I think it'd probably become more readily available to people if the big pharma companies did jump on the bandwagon, even if it is just for money, right? Because it's in the long run, there's going to be more product available out there to help people, but it's going to be a lot cheaper because there's so many people doing it.
Oh yeah, if they
Yeah,
jumped
my
on the
thoughts exactly.
bandwagon, it would. But the problem is there's so many synthetic companies out there that are lobbying big pharma. Uh, that's how. I mean, look, it is what it is here. You want something done in the states, money talks, bullshit walks. That is, our government is ran on lobbyists.
Yep.
It is what it is. That's why certain things like marijuana or certain other stuff that everybody's all on it. They're like, yeah, this is a really great idea, and then Joe Lobby comes by and says, hey, I got the $1 million for your bank account if you vote against this. Which is another reason that I believe in term limits on senators, but that's a whole other object.
We have them.
Um,
You're only allowed to do 4 years, and then you get to be voted in again or out.
Yeah, see, here we don't have that. We've got people like Nancy Pelosi and them that went into Congress in their 20s and left in their 80s, and you wonder why shit don't get done.
She's sat on her ass living off tax money, that's why.
Yeah,
While her husband got drunk.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
going
sir.
back to the like big business and stuff. I mean, there's so many angles to this kind of stuff, right? Like, think about all the companies that are losing out. Like you were saying earlier, there's less people smoking cigarettes. There's less people, it's like the younger generation at least. So like, I mean, they're kind of trying to find an angle into how do we this used to be where we grew X amount of tobacco plants. Well, we can grow some other kind of plants, here now maybe. So they're trying to find. Everyone's trying to find a horse in the race,
Yep.
And to be honest, I'm a tobacco smoker, and I really wish I wasn't. Like, if they turn around to me and say tobacco is illegal, I'd be like, sweet, straight weed. But like, because I go from smoking 30, 40 a day, because it's the only time you get a break if you work in 18 hours in a kitchen. If you went out for a 10-minute smoke, do you know what I mean? So like, you kind of drove to it because you're like, I need a break. Oh, I can go for a cigarette.
Weed is well, there were a couple of reasons, but weed was my crutch when I quit from 2 packs a day smoker to cold turkey. But the catalyst was that I caught dual lower lobe pneumonia, so pneumonia in the very bottom of both my lungs, with bronchitis, which was then at that point chronic bronchitis, because it was like my 3rd or 4th time getting it as an adult.
Pretty much COVID then.
Pretty much COVID. So I couldn't even just not smoking cigarettes. I had to sit up if I slept at all in tiny little pockets for about 2 weeks. And I attempted a cigarette once and I almost felt like I died. And I was like, I just can't. And then after I got that 2-week hump over, I was good to go. But once I started to get cravings again, because they weren't after 2 packs a day, cravings take a while to kick out of the system. Anytime I thought about having a cigarette, I packed a bowl and I'd take a rip or two, and I forgot I wanted a cigarette. And then a couple hours later, I want a cigarette. Hit the bowl again.
Because of weed, I love it.
Yeah, Yeah,
And
see,
that's what worked for me.
I don't smoke normal cigarettes now. I literally just only use a bit of tobacco to help with the burning process with my joints.
Yeah.
So I'm fully like ready to step away from tobacco. I'm even looking into hemp other products, but I'm a bit
That's awesome.
weary on like hemp, burning hemp and stuff, like how the hemp fiber is gonna burn and what's it gonna taste like. Is it gonna ruin my weed and like, do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
That's how I quit smoking cigarettes because I used to smoke a lot when I was working in the kitchen too, and instead of using weed, I used like vapes. I had like my own mod and whatever without like any nicotine in it, and that's how I like sort of kicked the curb. And I ended up buying like a pack of cigarettes like a couple weeks ago, and I smoked like a couple of them. I'm like, this tastes like shit. And I just threw them away. It was just disgusting.
Good on you.
Yeah, I got done. I mean, I quit. I still smoke a cigar or a pipe every so often. But I'm going on probably 20 years now of not smoking. And and how I kicked it was a patch. And the reason I kicked it is because at the time, my 5-year-old daughter, as I was puffing on a cigarette, looked me in the eyes and said, "Dad, will you quit smoking so you can walk me down the aisle?" Hey, what do you do when your kid tells you that,
Wow.
What do you do? So I told the wife, I said, let's go to Walmart. We're going to buy these patches. And, and like I said, while I do still enjoy a pipe or a cigar maybe once every 3 months, I don't have that cigarette habit anymore. But I do still find myself, especially if I've been drinking, reaching for a shirt pocket looking for, because it's still kind of in my mind.
Yep. I would probably at some point have your daughter check for lizard. Licked your freaking eyeball. Oh god.
I was lost.
No, I've had no. My our youngest is 3, and his latest and greatest is that he can now belch and fart on command when he wants to. So he's quite proud of these things.
Fart on command. How do you do that?
But yeah, I don't know, but he's a magician. He's a magician of bodily gases.
I had a friend that could do it. You like you suck air in, air out. That's about it. I can do the burp, but I never tried to do the other one.
Yeah, I could burp, but I can't fart on command.
There's some Chipotle in your life.
Is
Like modern day magic.
Is Bobber in chat? Do we know if Bobber's in chat?
He and Sal we're bopping off and on.
Yeah, I'm getting up at that age where I don't trust those anymore. One of the two of the greatest things I ever was given to me advice wise by an older man who was close to his 80s. He said, "There's 2 things in life you need to remember. No matter how good somebody's looking," well, he said there's 3 things. He said, "No matter how good somebody looks, somebody somewhere's tired of their shit. Don't pass up on a boner, and never trust a fart when you get 80."
That's fucking fantastic. All right, guys, I'm probably gonna put a pin in this. This has been awesome. Been a lot of behind the scenes. It's been a couple of weeks of planning, and this was the first event I don't usually get anxious, and I was anxious, nervous and positively anxious. And a couple of text snafus and roll assignments, and oh shit, we're not the same time zones. There's a little couple learned things along the way, but by and large, this has been really enjoyable, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Definitely have some fun.
Yeah, had an absolute blast.
Same. I just have one thing to settle for Bobber though.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. That hurts.
Late.
I said I would do it. I'm a man.
You did say that. You did say that.
140,000.
Oh my god. That's crazy. All right. Well, until next time, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
I'll get back to
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for
By the
having
way,
me.
we should do this more often.
I
I'd be down with like turning this into like a once a month kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be fun. I'd be down.
I'll be so down.
Definitely.
I'd be so down.
I like it. Sweet.
Also, if you're in here, like we should post
I'm
all
gonna
your
get off
guys'
too.
Discord names in the actual chat for the audio here, so we can all follow each other and stuff.
Yes, sir. And then when I get back, I gotta change my scene around and go check on the kids. And when I get back, I'm gonna do shouts for everybody as well. But I've had you guys running on a carousel as well below the little chat capture.
I've seen that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, boy.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you
chats.
guys. Happy Friday Eve. Happy 420.
Appreciate
Happy
being
4
invited
happy
to
420.
this, and
Happy
420, everybody.
420.
Happy 420, boys. Have a good night.
Gotta smoke before we leave. Come on, everybody that smokes gotta smoke before we
Oh,
leave.
it's all right.
Okay, I'm in the
hear
middle of a
this.
round, but give me a minute.
I got a views, so
I had like a bunch of people ask me to play, and my one friend doesn't play that often, so I hopped on.
That good.
I won't focus. I got super lemon haze.
Assets are delicious.
I don't smoke, but I'll hold up one of my pipes.
Well, I like that one. Nice.
I got a friend. Every time I smoke this, I post a picture smoking this. He goes, "I feel like I should be getting a quest from you," and I feel like I should be punching you in the throat.
Maybe that's the quest, to receive thy punch to throat.
50 experience points.
Minus 50 DKP. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
All right, see you
Alrighty,
guys.
bye.
Bye.
Have a great night.